presentation of the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Any other use of this telecast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the Oklahoma Sports Network's consent is prohibited. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be used without express written consent.
Looking live from Tahlequah, Oklahoma at Northeast State University, here in Tahlequah. It is Del City versus the Tahlequah Tigers tonight, another district matchup on the road. Good evening, everybody. I'm Colton Fleetwood. Alongside, we've got Gordy Jones. On producer tonight, we have Jacoby Brosi, and we also have our assistant producer, Blake Unruh, on the road with us here tonight, and on the camera, Cedric Brosi with us as well. We're on the countdown to Kickoff, which is brought to you by Precision Nutrition of Del City. For all your nutrition needs in one shake or tea, come to Precision Nutrition at 4603 Southeast 29th Street in Del City. Tonight's game, Gordy, is, this should be a pretty good ball game. You know, Del City, these last three games, has faced some teams that, with all due respect to the opponents, have just not been on the same level as the Eagles. And so the Eagles have had to work through it. And tonight against Tahlequah, this is a Tahlequah team that most likely will not make the playoffs. They'd have to win this game and have some things go right for them.
Right.
But this is still a pretty good football team. We were talking with their public address announcer before we came live, and he was talking about they barely lost to Claremore, probably should have won that game. And then they barely lost to Collinsville. The score, I think, was 35-23, but there was a touchdown late that made that game look the way it did. So this is a Tahlequah team that clearly can play.
Right. A lot of good weapons with this Tahlequah team right now, like you said, Colt, sitting out almost at an even record. Had a good battle last week. They were able to put away Tulsa Memorial with a pretty good score with 56-0. But like you said, they are one of those teams that is kind of on the brink of between making the playoffs and not making the playoffs. But it's like I said, they'll have a battle with Del City today. A few good weapons on their team, and like I said before, they had a few good battles this year, and coming off a win versus Tulsa Memorial last week, they ought to have a pretty good battle on their hands with the Eagles tonight.
It is senior night also for Tahlequah, so that could delay the start of this game. I don't think so. Most of these teams have done a really good job of making sure that they don't do that. But just so you're aware, it is senior night, and we are expecting some possible weather. The good news is you in Oklahoma City, where you're watching right now, most likely you're probably maybe getting some rain now. If not, you're probably going to here in the next hour or two. Here in Tahlequah, we may get through this whole game with no storm, so that should be a no factor. We're hoping, as I say that, News 9 just sent me a notification about lightning in the area, so I maybe lied to you, but we'll have to wait and see. But this game tonight is a big game for Del City. For the Eagles, what they're hoping for these last three games, you got to play Tahlequah, Claremore, and Pryor. These are going to be the kind of a gauntlet of games, if you will.
Right.
And Del City has to win all three of them unless other things happen to be able to win the district championship. And so what Del City's hoping and what Pryor is hoping is that both these teams are playing for a district championship in the last game of the season. That's what it would be all about. But Pryor's got a big game tonight. They take on Collinsville. And, Gordy, I mean, that game, to me, is maybe the biggest game in the state tonight in 5A.
It is, definitely. That's a matchup that, we'll see probably both of those teams, playoff bound. But, again, it seemed like Pryor, they've just been doing really well this year. And so I imagine, like you say, it'll be a big game coming up for Del City, in a couple of weeks. But as far as both, Collinsville and as far as Pryor are concerned, these teams will be, matching up. This will probably be, like you said, probably with the premier game of tonight's.
And we, like I said, we're live from actually Northeastern State University. And it is a really big facility. I mean, we are way up here in the press box. And the press box is older. And so it's funny, when we got up here, Gordy and I both came into the booth, and we started seeing immediately that there was going to be some wasps helping us call the game tonight. So my spotter is a wasp tonight. And so if you hear some squealing during the broadcast, it's just our camera guy.
Right.
Or me, because there is some wasps in here. But anyway, it's a nice facility. They've treated us very good here in Tahlequah, and we're excited to get this one underway. Big football game tonight. We're on the countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Precision Nutrition of Del City. And for all your nutrition needs in one shaker tea, go to Precision Nutrition at 4603 Southeast 29th Street in Del City. We'll be right back, and we'll have keys to the game, starting lineups, and also a coin toss for you, hopefully, within the next 14 minutes on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call.
This is why you need our number in your phone.
This could be you! When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it. Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers. This is why you need our number in your phone.
This could be you!
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell. If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, God hail, call Cantrell.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. And, boy, senior night tonight. There's a lot of seniors, Gordy.
Oh, yeah.
So this is going to take a minute. There's 18 minutes on the clock, it says, until kickoff. So we'll have to wait and see if we actually get started on time. It could be close. But, again, we're on the countdown to kickoff, brought to you by Precision Nutrition of Del City. And let's go ahead and start about our starting key players tonight for Del City. That is brought to you by our good friends over at DC Transmissions, owned by Del City graduate Tom Fisher. He's been serving the community for 48 years. And let me tell you, if you need to take your vehicle in for work, this is the guy you want to take it to, because you don't want to take it to a dishonest company. You want to take it to somebody you can trust. And I promise you, Tom Fisher is a guy you can trust. Go see him, 4737 Southeast 29th Street, or you give him a call ahead of time, 405-677-7454. That is DC Transmission. And Gordy, we're gonna take turns on this. I'll start with the offense. I'll let you kind of mention some key players on defense that you want to watch for.
No doubt.
Offensively, I think obviously he won Player of the Game last week. If I'm not mistaken, I wasn't here last week, but I think it was Sincere Overton,
yes,
right?
Sir. Yes, sir.
And I think he is the guy that's really the key player to watch, because Sincere is starting to get better and better each week. It's hard for people to remember he's only a sophomore.
Exactly.
And there's been so much talk about Sincere Overton being, the next great Del City quarterback, potentially by the time he's done, maybe the best of all time.
Right.
He can still get there. It's been a slow start for him, but I think he's getting better and better by the week, and last week you saw that. Now these next 3 games, he's going to get a real opportunity to prove himself. Of course, Rickland Holmes, Caleb Blackwolf, both those guys in the backfield carrying the football, and Josiah Chester, who by the week is getting more and more targets, and he's winding up becoming maybe one of the best receivers in 5A. So those are some of your starting guys on offense. Gordy, what about defense?
Oh, we'll talk about Basil Gunter, and of course, when we talked about the defense last week, we talked about the secondary. Of course, we have Caleb Blackwolf in the secondary. Of course, we got Josiah Chester as well. As one of the safeties, and so like I said before, we got the really good secondary. But what we really got to look forward to today is the defensive line. Of course, we talked about our Nico and Arian Daniels, on the defensive and offensive line side, of course. But on the defensive line, we look for them guys to do a lot of damage. Of course, we have Gunter, at the linebacker position. We have Rickland Holmes as well at the linebacker position. We'll look for those guys to, shut that run off. But, of course, like I said, we are looking forward, to seeing what the secondary is able to bring, with those talented guys as far as Caleb Blackwolf is concerned. We imagine that they'll, really give the Tigers a really good game here, stopping the run and stopping the pass.
Gordy, I'm sorry I left you hanging there. Coach Jones called me. Sorry. Coach, we were just talking. We're not going to be able to do an interview tonight. We already knew that, but just wanted to let him know again. So just so you're wondering, if you're sitting at home, we're not doing an interview tonight for Coach Jones. The microphone, this is a long ways up, and we're covered in a really thick glass, so it's causing a disruption with the microphone. Was not able to make that happen. So Sorry about that, folks. You'll have to listen to just Gordy and I talk for a little bit longer here until the game starts. But, yeah, again, DC Transmissions, the Oklahoma Sports Network, was so excited to be able to welcome them back, and Tom Fisher's been really good to us and, of course, serving the community for a long time. So check them out. And now let's get to Keys to the Game. Keys to the Game tonight brought to you by Keyline Mag. The stars of tonight's matchup aren't just winning on the field, but they are hitting the headlines too. Keyline Mag will feature these amazing athletes, such as our player of the game last week, Sincere Overton. You can check it out at KeylineMagOnline.com and subscribe for updates. Gordy, what are your keys to the game tonight?
All right, I'll be making it real quick for you. Like I said, we talked about the keys to the game. We really didn't get a chance to interview Coach Jones today, but, what we talked about, and I actually kind of heard him mention it to some of the players when we walked in, this is a big game, as far as, like, these guys really have to start to develop some consistency and get ready, because they are, getting prepared for the playoffs. So, being that it is a big game, you're playing out of town, you're playing in a stadium like this, you really have to come, and have some sense of urgency when it comes to trying to be as consistent as possible, as far as the offense and the defense is concerned. That'll be the first key to the game. It's like I said, just stay grounded and stay prepared. The second key that we have to the game tonight is we're going to keep on airing it out. Last week, and you mentioned it earlier, Colt, Sincere is now starting to get comfortable in the pocket, starting to get comfortable with the passing. So, what it is, like I said, just to continue on with the consistency that he has had. He's really comfortable in the pocket. He's throwing the ball well. He's starting to see his receivers well. So really, like I said, it's on Sincere, to kind of develop, and add on to what he has been doing these last couple of weeks. But like I said, last week he looked really good and looked really precise. So I imagine, that we'll see Overton, be able to kind of settle in today and kind of pick up where he left off last week. The last point that we have today is just basically the same thing as always, is just to have that continued balance on offense and defense. I mean, in Dale City, we always, already talk about, how many athletes they have, how fast they are, and how quick they are on offense and defense. What they really have to do today is have that same consistency and have that same, drive that they had on both sides of the ball. Looking to get the running game going. It's really up to the offensive line to kind of get settled in and give these guys a really good look. And like I said before, they're doing a really good job of establishing the run early on and, like I said, trying to be consistent on the passing end. So it's really trying to have that balance on offense and defense, on both sides of the ball. But most of all, like I said, trying to be consistent as possible when it comes to the quarterback, and the rest of the receivers, as far as that passing game goes. And we look, like I said before, look for the offensive line to do a better job of protection and kind of open up some of those gaps to give the running game a better, games today. So those will be your 3 Ks to the game, brought to you by Gordy Jones.
All right, awesome. Thanks, Gordy. There is one of the cool things about games like these. We enjoy them. They're long trips, and so for Gordy and I, we get to have like long conversations in the car. We ride down together, and this was about a 2-hour and 45-minute drive for us. So we had a lot of time, and a lot of time on the way back. But one of the things that Gordy and I really have been talking about a lot is the growth of the offensive line and how important that they will be in order to try to win a state championship this year. And so, I mean, Coach Jones has said it. There's no sugarcoating it. They got to be better.
Right.
And that's been maybe their one significant weakness so far is they've struggled on the offensive line, which I actually think this offensive line has the capabilities to do it.
Definitely.
And that's the thing, like Gordy, like we talked about it in the car. Like you can see they've got guys. Some of them are young, but they've got a couple leaders up there. And, I mean, for you, Gordy, like if you're a coach and you want to get your offensive line some confidence, how do you do that early in a ball game like tonight?
The main thing is just, when we talk about scheming, we talked earlier, when we're talking about pulling, when we're talking about just straight up man blocks, it's all about, that consistent, drive. You want to make sure, to give you guys that confidence, and that's the main thing as far as when you're facing up against an opponent, you always want to make sure that you have that force and letting these guys know, the power that they possess and, when they're running these plays. As an offensive lineman, I can't imagine, I never was once, but it's a job that it just doesn't stop. You have to, continue to do it and continue to grind the rest of the game, and continuously, go against the same opponents, over and over again. So it's pretty tedious. But the thing is, like you say, it's just the consistency and having that confidence in yourself that you can actually, protect your quarterback. And that's what it really takes, is just having that confidence in the rest of your line and that everybody's going to do their job and be consistent in doing it. And like I said, trying to instill that confidence is always the main thing. But the main job is to protect the quarterback and the rest of the running backs as well. But like you say, just continuing to let these offensive linemen know how important their role is. And like I said, keeping them engaged. And, of course, it's a tiring job too, Colt. So, you really have to keep these guys, on their feet. Sometimes you might have to rotate in and keep them fresh. And that's just another thing. And that applies to the same thing on the defensive end. But when it comes to the offensive line, you want to keep fresh legs out. You want to make sure that they are, well hydrated. And, before, like I said, before the game starts, is just making sure that they are, equipped to take on the battles that they have to take on.
Yeah, for Dell City too, that's one of the things about Sincere that maybe perhaps has been a little bit more difficult for the offensive line and Sincere is that, Sincere missed the first 3 games of the season.
Right.
So there is a little bit of chemistry when it comes to offensive line and who's running behind them. Kind of getting to know, hey, what are their tendencies? Where do we block? How's he stronger blocking this way or that way, et cetera.
Right.
So those type of things can come into effect, I think, too. And for this offensive line, it is going to be a little tricky because, again, these 3 teams that Del City has left, starting tonight with Tahlequah, Claremore next week, and then following up with Pryor, which seems like that's going to be the big one.
Right.
But these 3 games are going to be so much tougher than what the last 3 games have been with, Will Rogers, Tulsa Memorial, and, of course, Tulsa Hale. Again, with all due respect to those teams, they just haven't been on the same level as any of these teams. Tahlequah, I think, beat Tulsa Memorial 56-0 last week. So these 2 teams, both of them early in this game might be could be a bit of a feeling out process physically. But I think for Del City in years past, these last couple of years, where they have really shown how good they were, is getting off to incredibly fast starts in big football games and making it no doubt in anybody's mind that they're the better team. So if Del City can do that tonight, Gordy, I think that that's where you're going to see if this Eagles team is like they've been in the last couple of years, or if there's still some work to go. Right?
I understand. I agree. Totally agree. Like you said, Cole, it's just the level of competition, that we've been playing lately. And, of course, these last few weeks, it hasn't, not like you said before, not that it hasn't been up to standard. These guys haven't really faced a lot of strong opponents. So in doing that, you kind of develop, a little bit of a habit, in facing some of those weaker opponents. But tonight is the night, like you say, you kind of test that out and try to see if they can develop, the same way that they have been going on these last few weeks.
Well, folks, there's still a lot of seniors over there. This is actually pretty crazy how many seniors there are. I'll show you here on the camera if I can. See if we can get you a look. But there is a ton of seniors out there on the field. There's literally 100 yards worth of seniors right now, and there's more to go, I think. So we will, once again, I think we'll leave it here for just a second. But we'll get ready to take one last break and hopefully come back and maybe have football. But I think, again, we might have a delayed start here tonight. Gordy, anything else you want to say before we take a break?
Ready to get started, man. Welcome back, Colt. Glad to have you back after last week. But like I said, ready to get started, ready to see what Tahlequah, the Tigers, have to offer and see if we got a good battle in our hands. Just looking forward to it all.
Yeah, you're seeing it now. There's a lot of people. Cedric giving you a good look at all the people on the field. This is one of the bigger senior nights I've ever seen in all the years I've been doing this. So looks like they actually wrapped up. I guess the big group of players over there is not all seniors. That makes me happy because I did not think we were going to get through this in 7 minutes. So, hey, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we should have the national anthem, we should have a coin toss, and we should have some football coming up for you. We're excited, guys. We're here from Taloqua, Oklahoma, for Del City and Tahlequah on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it. Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rolling.
This is why you need our number in your phone.
This could be you!
have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. Looks like we're going to get kickoff pretty close to right on time at 7 o'clock. The coin toss is just about to take place, so Gordy's going to watch that while I go over our coin toss sponsor, which is Bucks Flight Academy, led by Dell City graduate Kenny Lockhart for affordable flight training from private pilot through multi-engine rating. Check them out on Facebook and Instagram, and you can also book a Discovery flight today by giving them a call at 405-538-1400. Bucks Flight Academy is our coin toss sponsor, and we appreciate them very much as the captains are coming out to the center of the field for the coin toss. And boy, Tahlequah is sending a good amount. I would imagine most of their seniors out there. Del City sending their normal guys out there. Looks like Rickland Holmes up there leading the way. And you've also got Draquan Wright. You've got Nicholas Holmes, Josiah Chester, Caleb Blackwolf. Also trying to see the front lines there. Looks like that's our Nico Daniels and possibly, what was the other number there? Can you tell? Is it 99?
Not able to get a clear look on that, Cole. It looks like it does say 99, but I cannot see that clearly. But I see Rickland, of course.
Yep.
Like you said, I see our Nico.
Looks like we got all of them except for the one number, which we'll catch here in just a moment. Wait to see what the coin toss is. You know, something I have not even paid attention to, Gordy, is if Del City's won the toss, what they've been doing. Have they been asking for the football, or have they been trying to defer?
They've deferred almost every time they've deferred, which is so you see that with a lot of teams lately. I've seen with a lot of the home teams mainly, but you see most teams deferring nowadays, which is understandable.
In big games especially.
Right.
I like to defer. This is going to be a big home field advantage for Tahlequah. I mean, they have a lot of fans over here. This is a college stadium, so it may look like there's quite a few empty seats, but, I mean, this is the normal high school stadium will be pretty darn full.
Exactly. Be hard to fill this place up.
So Del City will defer. Again, they will be kicking from left to right on your screen to start the ball game. So that means they will be kicking to the south from the north. So 50 seconds left on the clock here until we're ready for kickoff. We're going to keep it here. No more breaks until we have kickoff. And so that means we'll watch both these teams come out of their tunnels and the whole deal. Both these teams have nice tunnels. Look at that. There's a big tiger over there.
That's sweet.
Of course, Del City's wonderful. They got the big talons and the big eagle, which I think is really cool. That was brought in, I believe, last year, which really upgraded these kids. They deserve it.
Both these walkout things are really cool. I love both of those. Tiger's pretty sweet. And that was Arian Daniels as well as the other captain, number 55.
Gotcha.
I was able to see that as he was walking away.
Perfect. Thanks, Gordy. Good job on catching that. So with Del City's, kicking things off here tonight, defensively they'll get a good look.
Right.
Del City's defense has not struggled this year.
No.
Maybe for what? Maybe a quarter against Collinsville that they struggled, but other than that, they have been pretty sharp all the way through as the Tigers are taking the field. And I'm telling you, this Tahlequah team is not a team Del City can take lightly. I know a lot of people at home are thinking, well, they win this game, and they're already looking ahead to Pryor. If you do that, you can get beat. This is a team that is capable of pulling an upset. So make no mistake, this is a big football game here tonight for Del City as the Eagles are taking the field. And this Tahlequah team is led by a quarterback. We watched him in warm-ups who looked to have a pretty darn good arm. I was actually impressed with him. I know you were as well, Gordy. His name is Will Talbert. And so he wears number 12. And Del City's going to have to be able to rush the passer. If he's able to sit back there and be comfortable throwing the football, this is going to be a ball game, and it could be one that gets out of hand and dangerous for Del City. But Del City feels comfortable in their pass rushing ability, so as long as they can get after it, they should be fine there. As far as the defense for Tahlequah, this defense has actually been pretty decent. They played Claremore really tough defensively, struggled against Pryor. Pryor put it on them pretty good. I think the final score is 44-13.
Right.
And then against Collinsville, 35-23 is the final score. They played really well defensively in the first half. The second half is when they struggled. That touchdown late is what made that game look, 35-23.
Exactly, definitely.
But it was 28-23 pretty late.
They did pretty well, of course. Like Collinsville is a really good team, and so we had Del City, at home. But, of course, like I said, they had a really good game that pretty much almost went down to the wire, just a couple possessions on the end that they weren't able to come up with that victory. And last week they were able to, shut out Tulsa Memorial. So, like I said, we already know that the Tigers have a really good defense, and I imagine that they'll probably look to, continue the same stop against Del City. But it's like I said, we said it earlier. If we can get this run game established, get the offensive line to block like we know that they know how, Del City should be able to have a lot of success tonight. But we will look for the Tigers, with their running back, Gertie. They do have a really balanced pass and run game, so we'll see what they got.
Here comes the opening kick. It's Ricklin Holmes kicking things off for Del City tonight. It is a booming kick that will be fielded right at the 2-yard line by the Tigers. Here comes the return man, hit at the 20-yard line, brought down at the 22. Good kick coverage by Del City. That kickoff was brought to you by the Del City Chamber of Commerce. The Del City Chamber of Commerce is the trusted resource for advocacy, education, and engagement to help you improve your business. At the Del City Chamber of Commerce, they have sponsored all of our kickoffs this season, a proud sponsor, and we appreciate them very much. Del City's defense on the field now, and let's see what we can do defensively. I think for Tahlequah here, they've got to get off to a quick start as well, and they know that as their offense will come out onto the field. Their quarterback, Talbert, claps his hands, takes the snap. Back to pass early, has time, but he's going to take off running to the left, and he tried to just throw it away, I think. I thought he was going to dump it off to the running back there, Gordy, and instead just decided to throw it away.
Quick little handoff fake. But unable to get anything on the outside. Looks like he was trying to find that outside receiver for a quick dump, but just kind of cut off on that. So good job by the Del City defense to kind of cut that pass off. But he's really trying to get that bootleg on the outside, but just nothing going there.
Well, it did look a little bit like perhaps Talbert left the pocket a little early.
Definitely.
Had he stayed in there, his offensive line looked to have been doing a pretty good job. Instead, he left and decided to try to take off running and then saw nothing was there. Talbert changes the play at the line of scrimmage. claps his hands, and Del City, I think, jumped off sides, and that is the signal from the official. So that'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Eagles. I think it was Rickland Holmes coming off the edge, trying to get a quick pass rush. So 2nd and 5 coming up. Ball will be moved to the 27. There's not a lot of background noise in our microphones like there normally is. That's because we're in an enclosed press box.
Very peaceful.
I know it kind of peaceful, kind of awkward too, right? Like we're used to hearing some loud noises, and
right.
These road games, they're usually like you get to go out there and you get to sit with these big crowds, and there's a pretty big crowd tonight, and we don't really get to hear a lot of that. So that's the downside, but it is peaceful, like Gordy said. Talbert back to pass, throws, and it's a high pass that is incomplete. He was looking for Michael Torkelson out here on the end. Nicholas Holmes was in coverage. It was tight coverage, and that's what if that ball would have been on target, possibly could have been intercepted.
Right, nice 5-man front. They had a 5-man front rush on that one. And one gentleman I forgot to mention earlier, on the defensive end was Gylan King. Like I said, one of the, better defensive ends in the 5A district. And like I said, of course, you got Damani Godwin and you have the Daniels brothers as well on the defensive line, but just making a really good push initially. So really like kind of rushing the quarterback out on that one. So good stop for an incomplete pass.
3rd and 5. The Tigers do not take a lot of huddles. They go to the line of scrimmage in tempo. False start. Yep. Wasn't sure if they were going to get it, but they did. So that 5-yard penalty that the Del City Eagles had, they will get it returned. So it'll move back to 3rd and 10, makes this more difficult. These are not the situations anyone wants to be in when you're playing against Del City. You want to be in 3rd and manageable, Gordy, and 3rd and 10s, 3rd and longs. Those make things really difficult because the Eagles swarm the football in the air. They're really, really good at forcing turnovers.
They are. Such a quick defense. You can tell that the Tigers are really trying to get off to a fast start and trying to make things move a little bit quicker, but in doing that, they're kind of causing a little bit of confusion for their offensive line.
Man in motion from left to right. Going to go over the middle through the hands of the intended receiver. Actually, that was a pretty darn good throw by Talbert. Looked like he was looking for number 11, I think, which is Ashton Morgan, or is that 10? Excuse me. Looks like that's 10. Caleb Dobbins. So they'll have to punt it away. Will the Tigers? Back to return will be Nicholas Holmes and Caleb Blackwolf, the two dangerous return men for the Eagles. Caleb Blackwolf has had several punt returns for touchdowns. I think he had, 2 in one game earlier in the season against Booker T?
Yep. Just an exciting player to watch.
And he might have a chance at this one. No, he won't. This one will take a bounce. It turns into a pretty good punt. We'll roll to the 31-yard line and be down there. Del City will start at their own 31, and let's see what this offense can do. Del City's offense has scored a lot of points this season. But, one of the things, Gordy, again, I wasn't here last week, which leads me to my next point. Need to give a shout-out and a thank you to Michael Stewart, who filled in for me. He did a great job, and I know, Gordy, you spoke highly of him. You guys got along really well, and we certainly appreciated him doing that. He's a good broadcaster, and will have a home on the Oklahoma Sports Network, I would imagine, next season, maybe even in the playoffs. So, but with that being said, one thing I watched is Del City's offense. Yes, they moved the ball, but there was some missed assignments.
Right.
And that is one thing you'd like to see cleaned up here early in the game.
Definitely. Early on. Let's see.
Rickland Holmes going to get the opening handoff. First play, no gain. Stuffed immediately. Tried to run it left, and Taloqua swarmed it pretty quickly.
Yeah, last week early on, not really able to get it going in the first quarter immediately. But once Del City kind of settled in, to what they do, they were able to kind of come up with a few turnovers, early on as well. So kind of run that score up. But like I said, really just looking to get off to a quick start and develop some consistency without any penalties.
Back to passes Overton, looking for Chester. That ball was thrown maybe a hair too early. It was not catchable for Josiah. So they'll go out of bounds. It'll be 3rd and 10. Boy, Coach Jones not happy about that.
Yeah, just over the head throw, just a little bit of an errant throw, unfortunately, on a little out route. And I think it's just, like I said before, both of these teams you can tell are a little timid and a little tight, just trying to get settled in. It's a pretty big atmosphere, so I imagine there are a little bit of nerves there as well.
Yeah, this is, I think, if I'm not mistaken, this is their first true road, other than Edmond Memorial, first true road game, definitely first in the district, where it's an away game for sure. Back to pass is Sincere Overton, throws over the middle, through the hands of Blackwolf, and somehow deflected into the arms of his open receiver. Are you kidding? What a lucky play. Jordan Hawkins, the sophomore, right place, right time, makes the catch and moves the sticks for Del City. How about that?
Like you said, I couldn't say it any better, Cole. Just right place at the right time, able to get that tip off, and he was just in the perfect position, Hawkins was. You know, he said, so able to get Del City that first down, something that much needed at a time like this.
Those are the kind of things can spark an offense and get a drive rolling here.
No doubt.
Especially when things were really struggling on the 2 plays prior to that. Overton the snap. Going to keep it this time on a read to the right side. Has room. Puts a couple moves on. Inside the 25 down to the 24-yard line. Good run. It's going to be another Del City first down. And that's what you want to see from Del City. You get a pass like that, though it was maybe a little lucky, that opens up the run game.
Definitely keeps the defense down their back heels a little bit, and they were kind of caught off guard by that bootleg as well. Good tackle by Perry, of course, but great run by Sincere Overton on that one to give him the first down.
Nicholas Holmes to the left, Chester to the right. Overton going to take the snap, going to run, and not much going there. Maybe a couple to the 22. It'll bring up 2nd down and 8 for the Eagles.
Not much going on that one. Like we talked about earlier, the offensive line really just has to kind of get, straight up and be able to push, some of these Tigers back just a little bit. What you really want to do is just kind of give Sincere some time, to get that ball hiked off and kind of get out and do what he needs to do.
Del City is running both Black Wolf and Holmes in the backfield. Gallon King blocking kind of as a tight end. This one's going to be a pass to the end zone, a fade to Josiah Chester, overthrown out of bounds. It'll be 3rd down. And, boy, he did have him on the back shoulder. It was a tough throw, just a little overthrown.
Tough throw. Unfortunately, just the incompletion just kind of coming out just a little bit quicker. I think Sincere may have gotten that ball off just a little bit quicker than he wanted to. Didn't put enough air under it, for Chester to kind of get underneath it. But I imagine they'll go back to that play again. That's, a one-on-one matchup that you got to take advantage of.
With this being 3rd down, probably have 2 plays to pick this up as long as you don't take a big loss. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Overton back to pass. Looking left, pumps, throws over the middle. It is caught, really close to the first down sticks. I think Black Wolf was the one who made the reception, and it is really close to a first down. It'll depend on the spot. It's right around the 14-yard line. It's going to be 4th down. They spotted it about a yard shy. So it'll be 4th. Oh, nope. Now as I say that, they moved the sticks to 4th down. Now they're going to say first down. Move the chains. That was a really good throw from Sincere Overton. That's what you like to see.
Definitely. The precision, especially when you're throwing it right in the middle. You're throwing into a crowd like that. But Caleb Blackwolf did a really good job of getting those hands out and snatching that ball from the air.
Del City going to take a timeout. So that's their first time out of the half. 9 minutes left to go in quarter number 1. It's tied at 0, but Del City putting together a nice opening drive to start this one. But we're not going to actually take a break because I need to tell you about our first quarter sponsor. I don't know how I forgot to do so. This is one of my favorite places to eat. I eat there once a week. It's Whataburger of Midwest City off of 15th Street. They welcome you to come by after the game for a free medium French fry with any purchase. All you got to do is say you're with the Del City High School and the Oklahoma Sports Network sent you. It's only good on game day, only at the 15th Street location. But you can do that at halftime tonight if you want to during the game. You can leave at halftime. If you're in Del City and want to go to Midwest City, go get you some fries and a burger, that's the place to go. It's Whataburger off 15th Street in Midwest City. And now that we've done that, we don't have time to take a break, so we're going to keep it here. Gordy, what are you seeing on this opening drive from Del City?
Seeing a lot of, what we wanted to see. There's a sense of urgency on both sides of the ball, and you can see that both with the Tigers and with the Eagles. But with Del City, we can see that they're kind of starting to get settled in, kind of run through their progressions. Sincere is kind of, like I said, a little bit over, zealous with some of the passes. But I think once he gets kind of settled in, he'll do a little bit better. But as far as the running game is concerned, these guys are really doing well. So let's see what they got here.
Overton running right. Lead blocker was Rickland Holmes. And the tackle was made for maybe a yard on the play.
Just a few blocks missed, unfortunately, on that one. That's one of those ones when you get to that outside edge, you really need your lead back to, try to cut and somebody just kind of cut that man off from being able to come down the field a little bit. Now
we've got an official's timeout because the scoreboard just completely went off. Lost power over there. This is a nice football stadium. It's here, like I said earlier, it's Northeastern State University's football stadium. It's called Doc Wadley Stadium. Of course, the college team is the Riverhawks, but here in Tahlequah uses there. But Tahlequah's building a nice new stadium, I heard, which they're excited about. They're looking forward to having their own stadium. And So that'll be coming here shortly. And, Tahlequah's a nice town. Gordy, I don't know, I think maybe I played baseball here a long time ago. I don't really remember. But other than that, I'd never been here. Not enough to where I could remember it. And you and I driving through the town, had dinner here tonight. It's a nice little town.
It's a really nice town. And you always hear about a lot of river trips and nice, lakes that they have out here, a lot of good fishing. It's a really good, community college town. This atmosphere is really good and a really good experience for the Eagles as well.
Scoreboard comes back on. So 8:37 left to go in the quarter. Del City facing a 2nd and 9 from the 14-yard line. Overton takes the snap, hands it off to Rickland Holmes. Holmes with a tough run inside the 10, down inside the 5 to the 4-yard line. It looks like another first down, and the Del City Eagles are in the red zone. Brought to you by Bail Bonds by Tamara. Have you missed the ball on paying a ticket? Call Bail Bonds by Tamara at 405-200-5110.
Good push on that last one by Rickland Holmes to make his way up the middle. Hopefully they can get something established where they can drive their way into the end zone here.
Handoff again to Rickland Holmes. He lowers the shoulder, runs over a couple of tacklers, extends the football into the end zone. Touchdown, Del City. A statement drive to start this game for the Eagles.
Nice run by Holmes on that one.
Boy, you saw a little bit of everything on that drive. You saw some nice runs. You saw some nice throws. You saw everything you wanted to see. I think that Del City opened the playbook up a little bit more than what we've seen the last couple of weeks, and that's maybe something that Tahlequah didn't see on film. But again, this is what Del City has done the last couple of years. Big games, they come out ready to go. Extra point up, extra point good. Nicely done. It's 7-0. Uriel Castaneda, the freshman kicker, puts that one through. We'll take a quick break with 77 minutes and 58 seconds left to go in quarter number 1. Del City leads it 7-0 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rolling.
Back live with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Del City kicks it off, returned at the 8-yard line by Tahlequah. Tahlequah returns it past the 25 to the 27. Decent return there. That's where the Tigers will take over. And that kickoff brought to you by the Del City Chamber of Commerce. Rickland Holmes has been a good advocate for the Del City Chamber of Commerce with a lot of kickoffs this season because this Del City offense has scored a lot of points. And, Gordy, one thing that I would like to mention too is, like I talked about these last 2 seasons with Del City getting off to quick starts. If they're able to get a stop here and then get another score, to me, that's what we wanted to see out of Del City. I think that's what Coach Jones wants to see as well.
That's the truth.
Handoff, not much going. Rickland Holmes, also Draquan Wright in there on the tackle. That's a loss of a yard. It'll be 2nd and 11.
Good stop by those two gentlemen.
The running back, like you talked about for Tahlequah, is a pretty nice player. Jake Gertie, he plays both sides, and he's a big guy too. Like for a running back in high school, he's a pretty strong, big kid. And boy, if he's able to get things going, that's going to be huge for Tahlequah. So far, they've not been able to use, really the run game for anything successful. But their pass game is what they need to get going as well. But in order to do that, they got to be able to run the football, I think.
They're really trying to get something going. They actually have a 2-back set where they use Gertie and they use Hayden Murphy. But like I said, Del City's doing a really good job on the defensive line of keeping these guys contained. So not really anything going.
Another handoff to Gertie. Not much going. Gylan King on the tackle. Brings up 3rd and long again for the Tigers. And that's pretty much the opposite of what they want.
Right. Gertie on the carry again. Once again, like you said, guys came out, trying to establish that run. I think they have a really good quarterback and trying to, establish that balance. They try to throw it in there a few times. Just look for this guy to get settled in and try to, be a little bit more consistent. But Del City's really doing a good job, of keeping these guys grounded.
Del City, it looks like, is going to have Rickland Holmes possibly rushing. If you look to the near side of your screen, he's looking like he's blitzing. Here he comes. And he is going to force the quarterback out of the pocket. Flag comes down. I think he was held. And a good job by the defense. It wouldn't have got the first down anyway. It would have brought up 4th and 4, but that's going to come back on a hold. It'll be up to Coach Jones on if he wants to accept or decline it.
Good job by number 1, putting that pressure on that quarterback, forcing him out to the right side to try to bootleg. Just unfortunately coming back for the Tigers on a holding, but good for Dale City, to kind of establish that.
Rickland Holmes, I think that is maybe where he's the most dangerous, Gordy. He's a really good player. On the offensive side and the defensive side, but maybe where he's best is off the edge,
coming
rushing.
Off that edge.
Guys really struggle trying to block him.
Right.
And
kind of reminds me of a Robert, almost like a Parsons, or some, defensive end that has that feet work, and he's so quick, and so fast on the end. It's not really, a lot you can do when you got a guy that is, that has that amount of speed coming off the edge. It's kind of just dangerous. It makes the quarterback, really uneasy back there in the pocket.
The Eagles did decline the penalty. I think that's the right decision. So it'll be 4th down. Tahlequah sends the punt unit out there. Quarterback is the punter, so you always have to watch for a fake. Talbert is going to fake it. It's a throw over the middle. It's wide open. It is caught.
Oh!
And a huge hit by Black Wolf. Drops it loose. It's going to be incomplete. A nice job by Black Wolf to get up there and make the tackle. But, boy, Coach Jones is upset because somebody missed their assignment. That was wide open.
Yeah, you called it, Colt. It's the fake punt. When you have a quarterback at the punter position, that's one of those things that you just really have to be aware of. And it's like I said, it's a one-on-one coverage. When you're in punt return or anything, you're in punt block, you have to stick to that man. It has to be, no space given. And anytime you call slipping like that, they're going to try something like that. But really good stick. Way to put those shoulder pads right in that side and able to kind of force that receiver to let go of that ball. But good stick by Caleb Blackwolf to be right there when they needed him.
Boy, that was close. That ball was really, really close. It was initially caught.
That was probably the best throw of the evening for the quarterback.
No doubt. Dale City's offense with good field position at the 34. Overton and Blackwolf in the backfield. In motion is Quincy Hill from right to left. Hand off to Blackwolf. He goes forward to the 30, leans forward to the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Good pickup on first down for Dale City. Just under 6 minutes left to go in quarter number 1.
Good, tough run by Mr. Blackwolf. What we say, we're just really looking for the offensive line to really just get a good push. They're kind of getting off the ball good, and that's what, is a really positive thing that we're seeing. But once they're locking up, you really just got to kind of establish that dominance and try to, see if they can kind of be consistent enough to keep pushing these guys back.
2nd and 4 for Dale City. Overton back to pass. Throws over the middle. It's off the hands of Nicholas Holmes and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down. That's a ball that's probably got to be caught.
A little bit of juice on the end of that ball, but, one of these, like you said, once it hits the hands, you got to bring that in. It was a little bit higher, unable to bring that in for Nicholas Holmes. But I said it was a good pass by Sincere, so that's one of those ones you got to come home with.
So the being 3rd and 4, Coach Jones were really frustrated. They are making mistakes. Dale City is. The faked punt and then maybe a couple balls that probably should have been caught.
Right.
But still, they're up 7-0 and still in good territory here. Probably 2 plays to pick this up. Need to get the ball to the 24. Handoff. Overton going to keep it around the edge to the right side. Flag comes flying in by the near lines judge. That was close to a first down, but I think this is going to come back on Dale City possibly for a hold. And it is. So this will make it 3rd and long now. The flag was thrown at the 28-yard line, so that should back them up to the 38, which will bring up 3rd and 14 for Dale City.
Yeah, it was a good read option play. It was a perfect call. Unfortunately, you kind of want to see the quarterback let it go to the tailback on that one. Once you see that gap open up on that left side, you kind of want to just let that ball go where you don't have to run yourself, into a lot of heavy traffic. But it's being called back, so they'll have to, a chance to kind of redo this one. But that's what they said. Those read options, those are those calls that you really got to watch carefully where your offensive line is moving.
Well, I'll tell you, if you're Dell City, you've got Josiah Chester at the top of your screen. You've got Hawkins at the bottom of your screen. They were looking for Hawkins. Overton now going to just take off and run. He's going to have to make some magic happen. And he goes by the 30 to the 28. At least gives Dell City a chance at 4th down. That is the good news for Dell City, and maybe a good decision there from Sincere. It'll be 4th down, and we'll call it 4. They need to get the ball to about the 24, it looks like.
Made up a pretty good amount of yards on that quarterback draw there, so good run by Sincere Overton. Try to make that up. That'll give him a little bit of short yardage to work with to get this 1st down.
Trying to see what Del City's setting up for offensively. They're going to have one receiver to the far side. That's Nicholas Holmes. Near side's going to be Josiah Chester. Black Wolf in the backfield with Sincere. Lined up as a tight end on the near side here is, I think, Caden Thomas, if I'm not mistaken. And there's going to be another timeout called by Del City. Boy, that's 2 in the first quarter. 4:51 left to go in quarter number 1. Del City up 7-0, facing a 4th down and 4 when we come back on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rolling.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business.
Back live on the Oklahoma Sports Network. 4th and 4. Overton claps his hands, takes the snap, back to pass, throws near side. Nice catch by Josiah Chester. It is going to be enough for the first down. Del City moves the sticks yet again. What a great throw, and really what a great catch there by Josiah Chester. Did not let the ball come into his body, because Gordy, had that ball hit him in the chest,
Right.
that's going to be incomplete. He extended his hands and made a great catch.
That's what you got to do, Cole. Like you said, get those arms out, get those hands together, and catch that ball with your hands. That way, it gave him enough time to kind of rotate out and spin out and able to get that first down. Some might not be really too happy with the spot of the ball, but he was able to get right past that line of scrimmage to able, get them that first down.
The scoreboard has gone off yet again. That's twice. So I think the referees are going to have to start keeping the clock, most likely themselves. I know as some of the meetings I've been in, if the clock goes out more than twice,
right,
you got to start keeping it yourself, because
I didn't know that.
Yeah, you're not going to play the games of, is the scoreboard going to keep doing this or not? So I think the White Hat's going to go ahead and just keep it himself. Which is not easy when you're an official. It just adds an extra job. I can assure you. I've never had it happen to me, Gordy, because I've actually not officiated a lot of football games. Mm-hmm. But I would be really upset if I was refereeing and that happened to me.
To say the least, it's a difficult job to kind of keep up with. And it happens. You see it happen in basketball. You see it happen in football. It's just one of those things where it's just an extra job on top of whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that stinks. It's nobody's fault here at Tahlequah. It's unfortunate. Like I said, it's not their stadium. It's a college stadium, so you just got to deal with the hand you're dealt with. I don't remember how much time was left when it went out, to be completely honest with you. I think about 3 minutes, something like that in the first quarter.
Looks like they're trying to get that figured out right now.
I'm going to start making tallies here of how many timeouts were taken since those were off. Del City's taken 2. Tahlequah has not taken 1. All right, we're back to football. Handoff, Black Wolf. Black Wolf fights his way to the 20, and that's where he'll be taken down. Pick up a 3 on first down, brings it to 2nd and 7.
There's not a lot going on that one, unfortunately.
So, again, if you're wondering why I'm not telling you the time, I'll mention this multiple times, but it's because we don't know. So we're just going to have to wait for the official. I'm looking around to see if there is another clock somewhere, and I don't see one. Two receivers left. Going to have 2 to the right. Black Wolf in the backfield with Overton. A 3-man front for the Tigers. Hill in motion from right to left. He's going to be the lead blocker, as well as Black Wolf for Sincere. Overton, he's tripped up inside the 15 down to the 13-yard line. Really close to a first down for Del City. It'll depend on the spot. It will be another first down for Del City. Boy, they are really doing a great job moving the sticks. And we talked about the offensive line, Gordy.
Right.
They're doing a job right now.
They're doing a good job, and Del City is doing a really good job of, kind of establishing the run right up the middle. That play, by Sincere Overton, able to kind of get behind that lead block and able to get that first down. But you said it. They are doing a really good job of kind of maintaining, not able to get a great amount of push, but these guys are doing a really good job of, being consistent on the line.
Tight formation from Del City with the handoff to Rickland Holmes. He goes inside the 10 to the 8-yard line. Good carry on first down. It was a tough run. I like that. Del City just running big boy football here, just saying, hey, we're coming right at you. You know it's coming, but we're just going to see what you can do.
Right.
Looks like they may do it again. They're not looking like they're going to sub anybody out there.
That's what you want to do. I mean, you can do that, so many times consistently. You're going to wear down that defensive line over the amount of time, especially, we're right into the first quarter still. You're just going to weaken the opponent.
Overton going to keep this one himself, running right, and not much going. Good job defensively by Tahlequah. No gain on the play, brings up third down. Del City, to get a first down, has to get the ball to the 3, and then, of course, that's 3 yards short of a touchdown, so they can really do whatever they want. They got 2 plays to pick this up, most likely, unless Del City wants to kick a field goal. I think the only way the Eagles kick a field goal is if they lose yardage.
Right.
And even then, you probably don't. You probably go ahead and go for it.
We talked about it earlier. When you're running the ball, as much as these guys have been running the ball, it's definitely going to tire out your offensive line just a little bit. But that's the thing, we said try to keep those fresh legs going, kind of try to switch those play calls up where you're not putting so much pressure on that offensive line.
Overton this time going to drop back to pass. Slant over the middle, looking for Nicholas Holmes. It was above and behind Nicholas Holmes. But I think it had to be, because if that ball would have been on the money, might have been picked and going the other way.
Might have been picked off. Yeah, 2 guys on that coverage as well. Little slant route, try to get it in there quickly, but that's one of those things. The timing is everything. So if it's not precise, you'll be having the one running the other way.
Del City is going to go for this, it looks like. Caleb Blackwolf checks into the game. So does Jordan Hawkins. Got to love seeing the sophomore Jordan getting a lot of playing time tonight. Del City looking for that second receiver, or third receiver maybe. Nicholas Holmes, of course, a great receiver with Josiah Chester. They're both lined up to the far side of the screen. Blackwolf and Hawkins to the near side. Rickland Holmes in the backfield. Coming in motion from left to right is Josiah Chester, and a flag comes down. Looks like a potential delay a game on Del City.
Oh, no, that'll kill you, unfortunately.
Nope, they're just going to call a false start. I thought it was a delay game. The clock was at 0. The game clock is back up, by the way, Gordy,
awesome.
With 2 minutes and 11 seconds left to go in the fourth quarter. Del City going to face a 4th and 10 or 11 here now after the 5-yard penalty. Need to get the ball to the 3.
Not sure who that false start was on, actually, Cole, but that's one of those things you just don't want it at that particular time. It's just an unfortunate call.
Yeah, it's odd. It's kind of weird how it happened, because there was a motion and from left to right, and it was Josiah Chester, and he had just started to take off on his motion, and that's whenever they called the movement.
Exactly.
So 3 receivers left this time, 2 to the right. Back to pass is Sincere. Has time, throws over the middle, and it sails over the head of all the receivers. I'm not sure who he was targeting, and that'll be a turnover on downs. Big play for Taloqua, as that's the first play in the game where they've gotten some momentum, and their crowd's starting to make some noise.
Right, that's exactly the stop that you want. I mean, you stop a team in the red zone, that gives you a lot of confidence on the defensive end. Of course, that bleeds into the offense. So we'll see if the Tigers can get anything started. But that's one of those plays I bet you Del City wish that they could have back. Just a little bit of a throw, that was just a little bit inaccurate. I think Sincere was trying to work that ball over the top. Wasn't really sure exactly who he was trying to go to. But it looks like he may have had Nicholas Holmes in that corner, as far as up top, close to the end.
So it seems like it's been a while since we've seen Tahlequah's offense. They've not been on the field a lot because they've had 2 3-and-outs. Talbot takes the snap, and it was dribbled to him, and he picked it up with a knee on the ground. So that's going to be a sack, which will be credited to, if I can catch his number, if he turns around, number 11 for Del City. That'll be Jalen Andrews, who will get credited for that sack.
He's been playing a lot today on the defensive end. We haven't seen a lot of him, the last few weeks, but he's getting a lot of PT on this first string today.
Backed up all the way to the 8.
Just a bad snap.
Yeah. You can't have any more of those. Now you're backed up close to your own end zone. I would imagine Del City now might bring some pressure if this is a pass play.
Trying to go with the 4-man front here.
Back to pass. Talbot throws to the far side. It is caught back to the initial line. Bring up 3rd down and 10.
Give them a little bit more breathing room is what they needed. About 40 more yards extra. Give them a little bit more where he can have a little bit more time to think. But that was a nice long throw, to the edge. Great completion, of course. That's what they're going to need. But gives them a 3rd and long here. So I imagine they'll be going to go right back to the pass.
So 3rd down and 11. My son just FaceTimed me, Gordy, and I was like, I don't know if I should answer this or or if I should not answer this.
Right.
Or answer this.
When the sun calls, you got to answer.
I know you're getting stormed on back home in Oklahoma City. Nothing here yet.
Right.
3rd down and 11. Back to pass, Talbot. Looking, under pressure. He is going to be sacked from behind. It is Rickland Holmes off the edge with the big sack. It'll be 4th down, and again, Taloqua will go 3 and out and have to punt.
Good job by Rickland Holmes coming off that left side as a headhunter, like we talked about earlier, looking like a little bit of like a Micah Parsons, those quick feet, and just like I said, just coming down on that quarterback, so fast. Quarterback really didn't know, but I know he heard those footsteps. Great job by Rickland Holmes, to kind of get this quarterback in the backfield.
You want to call Tahlequah's quarterback Talbot. It's Talbert.
Talbot.
I got to get that
right.
Sorry, folks, at home. If you're a Tahlequah listener, I apologize. Whistle's blown. 36 seconds left to go in the first quarter, according to the game clock.
Yeah, just a difficult situation for the Tigers to start off in. And, of course, anything, play-wise, you want it to be positive. But when you can't get that passing game established like they're really trying to do, it's going to be one of those situations to where it's going to be a struggle to try to get, out of, your area of the field and try to get the ball on the other side of the 50-yard line.
They are going to say that's the end of the first quarter. So we'll take a quick break, folks. 7-0. Heading into quarter number 2 on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Back live with you on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Ready for quarter number 2. Del City leads this ball game 7-0. Tahlequah will be punting from inside their own end zone here. They faked their last punt, and it was there. It was a big hit by Black Wolf that jarred the ball loose for an incomplete pass. Black Wolf and Nicholas Holmes on this one will be back to return. And for Tahlequah, you've got to find a way to keep this ball either a lot of hang time or you've got to keep this ball away from these two returners. But you also, at the same time, it's a lot to ask because if you just kick it out of bounds, odds are you're going to give Del City really good field position either way.
Definitely. Just a predicament to be in, to say the least. But you got to kick it to one of these gentlemen. It's one of those things. You're just going to have to be prepared.
Talbert takes the snap, has time to kick it, kicks a end-over-end kick that Nicholas Holmes will step up and catch. He's able to escape the first tackler. The second tackler he escapes, and now Nicholas Holmes is off and running to the 40. 35 gets a block to the 30. Another block, and there's a flag. 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown Nicholas Holmes, but I don't think it's going to count. And had that counted, Gordy, my gosh, that was one of the best returns you'll see.
It was.
At any level of football by Nicholas Holmes.
You hate to see those coming back, Cole. It just kills me, especially when you see, he just did so much great work, breaking loose, breaking tackles, able to make his way to the sideline. Unfortunately, Walter Franklin, a little bit of a chop block in the back, just like I said before, that's one of those ones to where we always talk about if you're not in front of that receiver, get those hands up. There's no reason. Just bump them. Do anything you can just to get in their way. There's no reason to block a guy in the back. But that'll cost the team, unfortunately, for Walter Franklin. But like I said, good job and good run. But Del City will have to start, a little bit further back and try to make their way to the end zone.
I'll be honest with you, Gordy. I missed what you said. I did not see that. I saw a different one that I thought they were calling an illegal crackback block.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm glad you saw that because I was going to be upset because I did not agree that was an illegal crackback. But since you saw something different, it must have been a different block there. They must have got the call right. There was no argument from the coaches. That usually is a good indicator that it was seen. I just missed it. So
yeah, it's just an unfortunate one. You're in the motion and you're kind of like right there. I think he just really didn't realize where his body position was.
Overton in the backfield with both his running backs, Rickland Holmes and Caleb Blackwolf. They're blocking for him as Sincere Overton hits the edge to the 20, 15 to the 11-yard line and out of bounds. Big run from Sincere Overton. He was chased down by Corbin Dietz on the tackle but Del City into the red zone, and our red zone sponsor is Bail Bonds by Tamra. Give her a call, 405-200-5110. 15-plus years of serving the community over at Bail Bonds by Tamra.
There we have. We had a lot of runs tonight, Cole, but I think that was the best run as far as everybody doing their assignments, everybody blocking. Gate Overton, a really good run.
Black Wolf going to hit the edge. Black Wolf going to the corner of the end zone, and he's in. Touchdown, Del City. A 2-score lead with 11:25 left to go in quarter number 2.
That's how you do it. That's how you do it. Establish the run. Hit that corner quick. Good job by Caleb Black Wolf to, break out on that edge. Couldn't ask for a better drive on this one.
That 11-yard touchdown run by Caleb Black Wolf, brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking. The key phrase this week is thunder, and that will get you 10% off all purchases this week. They're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m. Tuesday through Saturday, and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunday and Monday. As the snap comes down for the extra point, kick is good. 14-0 our score. Del City on top with 11:25 left to go in the second quarter on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
Back live with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, where Del City just scored to go up 14-0, an 11-yard run from Caleb Black Wolf. Rickland Holmes about to kick things off. Another kickoff brought to you by the Del City Chamber of Commerce. Gordy, this Del City game has been pretty close to how you wanted it to go if you're Coach Jones, as this kick is a high end-over-end kick that will be fielded at the 10-yard line and returned from there. Return will go to the 26 to the 27, and that's where Taloqua will take over with the football. Their offense is yet to get a first down. They're trying to find some kind of rhythm offensively, but again, like I was saying, for Coach Jones, you have to be pretty pleased with what you've seen, even though there has been some mistakes.
Right.
Still a pretty good start.
But like you said, they've been able to establish, the run and the passing game, not consistently as we might want to see, but these guys are doing a really good job on the offensive line, able to get these guys, in the running game established. Black Wolf, Rickland Holmes have already scored touchdowns. Sincere's had a really good amount of runs today, really positive yardage as well. We'll see if the Tigers are able to kind of come with the same sense of urgency. But like you say, the great start for Del City and probably exactly what Coach Jones would like to see them start off with.
Talbert sends his tight end in motion from left to right, takes the snap, pitches it out to Gertie. Gertie forward to the 30, tries to cut back to the 32, and that's a decent run. Gain of about 4.
Ooh, good tackle initially by Basil Gunter to kind of get that started off with. But like I said, Gertie doing a really good job. Tough runner, as we can see. These guys are really trying to get that, option run established. Earlier they, tried a few passes, to that first drive, but we can actually see these guys are really trying to use this offensive line to get a good push.
This setup right here would make you think this is going to be a run. Just the way Taloqua is set up. Let's see if that's the case. It is. It's a handoff to Gertie, running right behind his up back there, and good blocking and a good run, really close to the first down marker. I think just shy, brings up 3rd and 1. Taloqua looking for their first down, and maybe this is their best opportunity to get it here with 3rd and 1.
That was a good job, a good push by the offensive line on that one. Like we said before, you can really see these guys are really trying to get settled and establish the run and get Gertie going. But like I said, they are doing a really good job of pushing Del City, back just a little bit, and we'll see if they can be consistent with that.
Del City showing a 4-man front here with it being 3rd and 1. Tahlequah stays in the gun, same formation. I would imagine this is going to be the same play. It is. Gertie right up the middle. Not much going. I don't think he got it. I think this is going to be 4th down, and Tahlequah down 2 scores.
Oh, no. So we got a player down in Gunter. I was kind of watching him as the play was developing. He was the first one on the tackle. Unfortunately, he's down right now.
Yeah. Basil Gunter is the one down, and boy, hopefully he's okay. We're going to take a break, folks. 14-0. It'll be 4th and 1 for Tahlequah when we come back on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it.
Back live with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. And 4th down and 1, it was Basil Gunter who was shaken up on the play. He was helped up and was carried to the sidelines. Won't go into more detail than that. 4th down here for Tahlequah. We hope Basil's okay. If his family's watching, I'm sorry I can't give you much more of an update. It's a rule here on the network. But they got him off the field, and he was in pain, but they were able to get him up, which is always positive. Talbert takes the snap, hands it off to Gertie fighting, trying to get to the 40, and he does. That's going to be enough for a first down. The first down of the game for the Tigers, and boy, did they ever need that. Big play for the Tigers, because if they didn't get that, Del City up 2 scores would get good field position, and that would have been, not necessarily a dagger, but if Del City goes up 3 scores, you feel like this game might be pretty close to over.
Definitely. So, good first down for the Tigers. So they're kind of using that rotation again. They got Zaxton Carshaw, number 22, in the game now, to kind of sub in for Gertie. But same play they're going to go along with.
Carshaw does take the carry. Picks up a couple yards. It'll be 2nd and 8.
There's nothing going on this one. Good job by the Del City defensive line on that.
Back into the game. One play, Gertie comes right back in. You can tell that's their workhorse. That's who they want to get the ball to as much as possible. And you understand why. He's had a good year.
He's a tough runner.
He's had trouble getting going tonight, but that last first down was almost all him.
Definitely.
Actually, in fact, it was all him.
Right. Offensive line is doing better.
Yeah.
They're doing better throughout the game, of course, but there's the inconsistency that we're dealing with, unfortunately.
Again, Gertie. Nothing going that time. Brought down for a loss right off the edge. Was that Cameron Digert that time? Number 10?
You're right.
It was. Good play. Nice job by Cameron.
Way to approach. Just way to get a good push by both, the defensive linemen on that play. They're really giving this offensive line some fits, and that's a really good sign, for the defensive line. The coaches are doing a really good job of rotating these guys in and out. We've seen about 4 different defensive linemen, besides the starters, kind of come in and rotating as well, and they have a few sophomores as well. So, for such a young crew, these guys are doing a really good job, and they've been doing a really good job for the last few weeks.
And a timeout called by Tahlequah, it looks like. They want to prepare for their 3rd and 11 coming up. We don't know how much time's left because the clock's not working. We're in the 2nd quarter with some amount of time. 14-0 our score on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and ask yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. 3rd and 11 coming up for the Tigers. Dell City with a 3-man front defensively. 3 receivers to the near side of the screen, to the right of Talbert. Gertie in the backfield with Talbert. And boy, down 14-0, it's not 4-down territory unless you can get this really, really close to the marker, I don't think. Man in motion, going to be a rollout pass. Talbert tries to set his feet, still looking. Now he just has to throw it away. Took a big shot there at the end of that play. Looked like that was Devin Joseph putting the pressure on. And now I think for Tahlequah, you probably have to punt this ball. Now, there is a flag down at the 35-yard line. That come in late, Gordy? I didn't see it come in.
Came in at the end of the play. Not exactly sure what it might be. But good job by Joseph to kind of put that pressure on the quarterback, and that will be on Dale City.
Called roughing the passer on Joseph.
Really?
Yeah. I thought that, I thought it might have been. It was close.
I was kind of looking away. Yeah, I was looking away, in the secondary as he was making that play, so I didn't actually see the end result of that one. But I said, that's a good job, for the Tigers to be able to get that first down. That's what they needed. It was a bootleg by the quarterback, good way to, get out and, draw that quarterback roughing, but just an inconsistent, just an incomplete pass, just not accurate. Dale City, the secondary is just so fast. They're able to put a lot of pressure on these receivers, not really giving up any space.
Boy, Coach Jones not going to be happy with Devin Joseph about that. Devin's been playing really good football, too.
Yes, definitely.
So he gets pulled out for this play at least after the 15-yard roughing the passer penalty. Talbert takes the snap, hands it off to Gertie. Gertie goes forward for a tough run of about 3 or 4. Up to the 42-yard line.
Good stop by Jalen Andrews on that one.
Little bit of momentum, for Taloqua. That penalty, they were stopped. I mean, it was going to be 4th down. That's why that penalty's such a killer. But,
right.
For Taloqua, you take it where you can get it. Dell City had a pretty lucky play off a deflected pass earlier. So Taloqua catches their break finally.
Definitely.
And gets a much-needed first down.
Those flags will be momentum killers, and they'll help out a team, as well. So Tigers are actually benefiting a lot from that one.
Back to pass. Talbert has time, throws over the middle. It's caught. That's going to be a walk-in touchdown for the Tigers. And, boy, guess what? Game on now here from Tahlequah. Touchdown catch by Cale Dobbins. What a throw.
Well, precise pass, to say the least. It was just right on the money, of course, by the quarterback. But, unfortunately, Caden Johnson, that coverage, when you're one-on-one and you got a post route going, you really got to stay on that outside hip of that receiver. Receiver was able to get on the top of him and able to catch a really accurate pass and mosey his way onto the end zone for the Tigers' first score of the day.
Extra point up, extra point good. It's 14-7 now. Boy, all that momentum Dell City had, and now Tahlequah, they're feeling pretty good about themselves, only down 1 score in the second quarter. Not sure how much time's left because the clock is down. Referees have it. But I would imagine probably somewhere in the 4 to 5 minute range if I had to guess. We'll be right back on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Back on the Oklahoma Sports Network, 14-7 our score. Tahlequah going to kick it off here from left to right on your screen. A big touchdown pass comes off of a 15-yard roughing the passer penalty where the Eagles had the Tigers stop. Now it's an onside kick, and it's recovered by the Tigers. Did it go the full amount, though? I don't think it did it?
Didn't look like it made it that amount of yards, but we got a Tiger team that's in a lot of celebration right now, so they think they might have it.
I don't think there's any way that ball got to the 50, Gordy, and I'm not just saying that. I don't think there was – I don't even think it was even close. They're not even standing on the 50,
no,
are the
not.
referees.
Coach Jones is making his way out to, the middle of the field because he is definitely wanting to see if he can argue this call.
There it goes. There we go.
Right,
That's
right.
You know what? That's good. Good officiating right there.
And like you said, just did not look like it got enough yards on that one. And they really didn't even give it enough time to bounce as well. May have went maybe about 5 yards on that kick.
Yeah, that's the correct call.
For sure.
It was I like the play call, right, by Taloqua. I think that's
totally caught the
super smart.
Exactly. He caught the return team off guard, and that's what you really want to do.
Yeah.
Just didn't give it enough time to go far enough.
You're watching the replay here. I'm going to watch it with you. Our replay is brought to you by Triple Elite Screen Printing, world-class designs and hot new styles. I mean, yeah, that ball clearly did not go the full 10 yards. I mean, we're watching it. You're watching it right there.
Right.
I'm watching it right now. Yeah, just shy of the 50. It's the right call.
Right.
Just looked at that replay nice and slow on my phone.
It's a risky call when you do that. Now we got a timeout by the coach.
Yeah, that's a smart timeout by Tahlequah. It gives you two things if you're the head coach. It lets you get your players over to regroup, and then it gives you a chance to go argue the call.
Definitely.
I don't mind that timeout. I think that's a smart timeout by Tahlequah. And I understand it was closer than I thought. When I watched the replay, Gordy, like it actually is really close to that 50-yard line.
I understand.
And I'm looking at it again here in slow motion. And this ball, let's see, needs to get to the 50. And this ball it's where the ball is, keep in mind, not the player.
Just almost to the 50-yard line.
Just shy of the 50.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that was close. Really close. I'm looking at Jacoby because he's the producer. He has the screen. He's actually behind us, so I can't see his screen. But it was just shy. I mean, just shy. So Del City takes over at the 44-yard line. Overton back to pass, has time, throws deep, has a man open. It's Josiah Chester thrown behind him. Almost an acrobatic catch by Josiah, but it's incomplete. It snuck away out of bounds. Man, Josiah Chester was wide open, though. That should have been a touchdown.
Yeah, a lot of air under that one ball, unfortunately for Chester. He was trying to turn that body and get that body on his outside shoulder, but able to turn himself completely around. It was a good throw by Overton on that one. Just not a lot of space for Chester to work with once he got towards that sideline.
So 2nd down and 10 coming up for Del City. One receiver to each side. Both backs in the backfield with Sincere. Blackwolf and Rickland Holmes. Going to be a little counter play to Caleb Blackwolf. Blackwolf around the right side, picks up a block, slowed down for just a second, and he gets the ball forward to the 32-yard line of Del City, 1st down. Boy, Blackwolf, had he not slowed down, he might have scored.
Oh, definitely. Good job by the offensive line on that right side to kind of break him out for that one. Caught the guys, with the Tiger defense on a blitz. They were kind of coming down hard, so when you want to run those, it's a good time to get that offensive line, getting that push, and they were able to kind of go right back to that run and establish a good one, to say the least, to get that 1st down for the Eagles.
Overton claps his hands, takes the snap, looks left, now throws right to Josiah Chester. Again, this ball overthrown. Double coverage as the safety came over to help. Did a good job of getting over there. Boy, Del City this season has just not been able to connect on those deep balls, something they've been able to do the last couple of years.
I know there is a sense of urgency, and we could definitely see that, but what Sincere really has to do is kind of give himself some time to kind of establish that relationship with the receiver once that ball is hiked. He's kind of been a little bit quick on the release, a little bit quick on the throw on these reads. I think the coaches are kind of motioning to him to kind of take his time and be a little bit more patient.
This ball goes between the legs of Overton. Now he's feeling pressure, takes off running right, able to free up a little bit of space, but not much going. He's going to lose yards as that snap, whether Sincere wasn't ready for it or if it just slipped through his hands, one way or the other. If it's between his legs, it was low. So it's going to be 3rd down and long for Del City. Boy, Tell you what, now, if you're Coach Jones, just like we talked about before that last score from Tahlequah, now if you're Coach Jones, you're not happy at all with the way this game's going.
Right. Getting a little bit sloppy and a little bit inconsistent, and I think that's what Coach Jones, really wanted to get away from, especially, here we are almost in the 9th week of football. So you really want to make sure these guys, know their roles and they're able to establish, what they have done the last few weeks.
Overton this time to Quincy Hill. Quincy catches it at the 30. And he'll be brought down there. It'll be 4th down and 8 or 9 for Del City. That maybe at least gives you a chance to go for it here, if anything else, or if nothing else, I should say.
Gives you a lot better field position. You are on your side of the field, so that's a good thing. So if you do decide to go ahead and take these long, passing routes, or to go ahead and go along with keeping this ball on the side of the field, which I imagine they will do, you're in the best position to do it. The thing is, Sincere really has to take the time and find the receiver that he really wants and feels comfortable with.
Del City taking their time here. Not sure how much time's left. I'm sorry, folks. Again, just don't have the clock. It's frustrating for everybody. I can promise you the most frustrating person is the referee who has to keep the clock himself. Quincy Hill in motion from left to right. Overton back to pass. Blitz coming. Del City does a great job picking up those deep over the middle. Has a man open. Josiah Chester. It finally connects. Touchdown, Del City.
Right. We said it before. He found the receiver that he was comfortable with, and that's exactly what he did. Really great pass by Sincere Overton, and even better catch by Josiah Chester. Way to get over the top of that defensive back, right over the top, and Sincere made an excellent pass for the score.
30-yard pitch and catch. Sincere Overton to Josiah Chester, and boy, did Del City need that. Tell you what, this crowd over here on this Tahlequah side, Gordy, was getting nice and loud.
Definitely.
And now that quieted them, at least for the time being. Extra point up. Extra point is good. 21-7, Del City on top here in the second quarter on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rolling.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. That 30-yard touchdown from Sincere Overton to Josiah Chester, brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking. Again, the key phrase this week is Thunder, and that will get you 10% off all purchases. Remember, on Thanksgiving, they also give you a free Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day. So make sure you go check them out. Madison's Country Cooking, a good sponsor for the Oklahoma Sports Network and Del City Eagle football.
Oh, yeah.
The Del City Chamber of Commerce kickoff by Rickland Holmes is fielded and blown up by Caleb Blackwolf at the 23-yard line. Good kick coverage there from Del City. Del City, I think now, defensively, you just have to be disciplined, Gordy. That's really what it comes down to.
That's it. We can see that they are really trying to get the run established, between both tailbacks, and the quarterback is able to make some really good consistent passes. But Del City is doing a really good job of containing, all three phases of that, able to make a good push, especially on the defensive line. These guys have really came out and performed well, and we can see a really good, job as far as the linebackers as well, with Rickland Holmes and Gunter leading the way. But like I said, Del City's doing a really good job of, keeping these guys contained, not really giving up any deep balls besides the last play, and we'll see if they can kind of keep these receivers under grasp.
Talbert hands it off to Gertie. Gertie, with a little hesitation, picks up a couple yards. In fact, they're actually going to give him a yard to the 25-yard line. 2nd down and 9 coming up for the Tigers. Got to think it's getting pretty close to halftime here, you would imagine. Del City, if I'm not mistaken, only has one timeout left. Tahlequah, I think, also only has one timeout left. Talbert going to throw this one. Looking, pumps. Now he's going to take off and run. Somehow was able to get free. Slides. And that is only going to be a pickup of about 2. It's because he slid. Had he dove head first, would have picked up maybe another extra yard or 2. But the slide is where you give yourself up. So it'll be 3rd and 6 is what they'll call it, coming up for the Tigers, and this is a huge play for them. Again, don't know exactly how much time is left, but if there is any time left here, the Tigers maybe are wanting to try to waste as much of it as possible to not give Del City any chance at trying to score to end the half to make this a 3-possession game.
I think you're right, Cole. I think this is where the quarterback decided to go ahead and go down on that one, try to let that clock run a little bit and get out of here, in the halftime and make a better plan coming out in the second half.
Talbert back to pass. Good pickup defensively. Throws over the middle. Incomplete. I think the ball was deflected off of Nicholas Holmes' hands? I couldn't tell. We're a long ways up, so it's tough to see, but couldn't tell if it was the receiver off his hands, Gordy, or if it was off the defensive player.
I have both hands up of both receivers, but that'll bring up 4th down for the Tigers.
I'll have to punt it away again. Every time you have to be conscious of a fake. I tried one earlier. Like I said, it was set up. Black Wolf did a great job of recovering with a big tackle and jarred the ball loose. Otherwise, there's been a couple plays. Tahlequah just, maybe a little bit of bad luck. Just have not caught breaks. They had an onside kick that was half a yard short of the 50. Referees did get it right after replay. There's the kick. This one is a pretty end-over-end kick that'll land and bounce at the 40, and Del City will take over from there. But, yeah, this has been – Tahlequah has kind of emptied everything they have into this one. They had an onside kick. The ball legitimately half a yard away from the 50. Right. It was that close from Tahlequah after scoring to make it a 1-possession game, getting the ball at midfield. Definitely. Del City took the ball, 4th down, throw a deep ball, catch it from Josiah Chester. But then also, if you're Del City, you're saying, well, we've caught some bad breaks. There was a roughing the passer penalty that led to that one touchdown because Del City had them stopped. So, yeah, a lot of mistakes from both teams, some bad breaks for both teams. That's led us here to where we are at 21-7. Del City's just been able to hit the explosive plays more frequently.
Definitely. We'll see if they're able to score before we head on to this halftime.
Overton going to keep it around the right edge, gets a block from Quincy Hill, goes forward to the 45 to the 46, pickup of about 6 yards for Del City. I like the quick take there from Sincere.
Right. Nice quick run.
Del City taking their time getting this play call in. Nice crowd here from Tahlequah tonight. This is a college stadium. It is almost completely full here on the home side. This handoff going to Rickland Holmes. Rickland running left. Has room to the 40. Tries to cut back. Stiff arms the guy to the 30. Down to the 29-yard line. Big run from Rickland Holmes.
Great, powerful run by Mr. Holmes on that carry. Able to get on that outside edge, use everything that he had to get, every amount of yardage that he was owed on that. Good job, again, by the offensive line to, get him that space. And you can see Del City is doing a really good job of trying to stay consistent, keeping the ball on the ground, trying to get all these runners involved, as well as Holmes and Sincere Overton. We'll see what they decide to go with here.
Del City again, handoff to Rickland Holmes. It was a high snap. Rickland with a good run past the 25 to the 24. Pickup of another 6 yards for Del City. I don't know for sure, but I at least the way it's looking right now, Del City's offensive line is getting a really big push. Right. It's the first time this season we've really seen that throughout the whole game. I would not, if I'm Del City, yes, you want to get your passing game going, but for right now, I'm going to keep pounding the rock.
You're having a lot of success, and now they're actually
as I say that, Tahlequah blows up the play. Big loss.
Spoke a little bit too soon, but they're able to get it, a nice little blitz on that one. And, good tackle by number 50 on that one. But like I said, and you said earlier, Cole, Del City before, that last play, they were, doing a really good job of, kind of establishing the dominance on the run in, able to kind of stand these guys on the defensive line in. But, like I said, they decided to go with a blitz on that one, and they were successful, able to stop the running back in the backfield.
So it's 3rd down for Del City. It'll be 3rd and 10. 3 receivers to the right side, 1 to the left. Overton claps his hands, takes the snap. 3-man rush, picked up, has plenty of time, looks. Now he's going to take off and run and takes a couple big shots. Flag comes flying in. Overton got the ball to the 22-yard line, close to the first down, gives Del City a 4th down shot. We'll have to check the flag.
Thought about letting it go, but just looked like Sincere didn't have really anybody to go to. Wasn't really kind of sure, if he wanted to go ahead and let that ball go. Decided to go ahead and keep it on the ground.
It is going to be a hold on Del City. See, if you're Coach Jones, that's frustrating, Gordy, because it was a 3-man rush.
Right.
You cannot have a hold on a 3-man rush.
Definitely.
And if you're sincere, as he gets older, he's gonna get better at this. But with a 3-man rush and you've got your running back there blocking, you got to stay in the pocket.
Got to stay in the
Keep
pocket.
looking. Let your guys come back to the ball, right?
That's the truth. That's the truth. You get to running around and you kind of get to trying to escape the pocket, and that's when you see a lot of holding penalties happen is the receivers there, the offensive line, they just really don't know where to go. And once you kind of get a guy coming, in the backfield and coming after your quarterback, the first thing you do is kind of reach out to grab out, and that's how they caught that holding penalty.
So it's 3rd down again. They did decide to take the penalty. This throw, wide open. Chester catches it right before he goes out of bounds inside the 5-yard line. And that looked like a center fielder who just had to make an adjustment on a windy day to find the ball in the air. Great, great job by Chester to make that catch. And Del City, first down, back in business inside the 5.
Right. What concentration by Chester. And, of course, that was a great bootleg by Sincere Overton as well. Able to get some air under that ball and find Josiah Chester wide open on the edge. He was able to kind of turn his body around and kind of come back to the ball, but made a beautiful catch right there on the sideline for a Del City first down, right in the red zone.
Now, I will tell you that Sincere Overton does show you those flashes.
Right.
As this ball is, boy, I lost it, Gordy. I am so sorry. I did not see who took that carry.
So we had a quick handoff on that one.
I'm glad you saw it. I did not see it at all, but it did not get into the end zone. So Del City has it at the 2. You'll have to forgive me watching at home. I just missed it there. Checking in on YouTube. Got a lot of people checking in. Nate Charlie says Caleb Blackwolf is his nephew, I think.
Okay.
From El Reno. Welcome in. Overton the snap, takes it into the end zone, almost untouched. Del City with a 3-score lead in the second quarter. And just like that, the Eagles responded again. It was 14-7, and then just had a couple quick scores, and just like that, Del City goes up 3 scores. Big job, couple big throws from Sincere Overton, and some big-time catches from Josiah Chester.
Good job by these guys on the offensive end. Of course, Sincere Overton able to do his thing. And like we said before, once this guy gets settled in, we just know how much talent that this guy has, able to kind of get this ball out quickly, finding Chester, finding some of the other receivers as well. But like I said, establishing the run game is what's really held Del City together and been able to, get them up where they are right now, up 28-7.
Uriel Castaneda with the extra point. It was so automatic, Gordy. That was one of the greatest things I've ever seen. That kick, as soon as he kicked it, he was already running to the sideline knowing he made it. That was almost like me whenever I hit a really good drive. I just lean down and pick up my tee, No, I'm kidding. I don't.
I know it.
I don't actually do that. But that is what it reminded me of. So 28-7 our score. That last touchdown by Sincere Overton. Big-time throw back to Josiah Chester. Even better catch to be able to track it.
Right.
That is brought to you by our good friends over at Madison's Country Cooking. The key phrase this week is thunder, and that will get you 10% off all purchases. This week, they're open from 7 a.m. to 9 p.m., Tuesday through Saturday, and 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Sunday and Monday. Right. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner specials. Breakfast served all day, and, of course, free Thanksgiving dinner on Thanksgiving Day. That's pretty neat.
Yep.
And I think that is going to do it for our first half, so I guess we're going to go to halftime, it appears, with the score being 28-7 Del City. That was kind of interesting. I guess they must have scored with 0 seconds on the clock, Gordy.
Right.
Wow. That's crazy. All right. Well, there you go. That's what happens when you don't have a clock. We have no idea. But
no idea.
We will take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have a halftime show brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yep.
And always remember, God hail, Call Cantrell.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes, call Rob and Will.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it.
Back live with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. It's halftime here from Taloqua, live from Doc Wadley Stadium here from Northeastern State University. And the Tahlequah band on the field right now, they're doing a great job putting on a really good performance. I mean, one of the best performances we've seen this year from a lot of high school bands, and so credit to them. We would bring it to you, but since we're in glass, we can't bring you the sound. So, unfortunately, not going to be able to get you that band show, but you can kind of see it on the camera here. Our halftime show tonight brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking. Again, if you just go in there this week, tell them the key word is Thunder. You're going to get a 10% discount off all purchases. So go by and see them. Madison's Country Cooking. It's delicious food. I know Cedric here, my camera guy, talks about the fish being really, really good. Jacoby likes eating there, and I've eaten there a couple times. I think I had chicken fried steak one time. Really, really good food. So go check them out, Madison's Country Cooking. And the score right now, 28-7. Del City on top of Tahlequah. This game has had some twists and turns along the ways, but Del City is where they need to be score-wise. There was the very first possession of the game, a stop for Del City, 3 and out. Responded with a touchdown quickly, and then shortly after that, another 3 and out, another touchdown for Del City, went up 14-0. But then from there, Tahlequah got the ball, was able to get a 4th down and 1 conversion, and then from there had a 3rd down, didn't get it. It was 4th and 10. Del City roughed the passer, gave Tahlequah the 1st down, and from there Talbert was able to connect with his receiver for a long touchdown, and that was what made it 14-7. Then from there, Tahlequah kicked an onside kick, and they were within half a yard of recovering it. It was half a yard short of the 50-yard line. Del City got it from there, went in and scored, made it 21-7. And then shortly after that, Del City, another stop, was able to score on another touchdown right at the end of the half. In fact, the very last play of the half was a touchdown from Sincere Overton. That's where we're at right now, 28-7. Coach Jones in the locker room probably telling his guys, hey, listen, this score's probably 28-0 or 35-0 if we don't pick up that roughing the passer penalty, Gordy. So that's the big thing. But then the other thing, too, is they're still struggling a little bit in the throwing game. They were able to hit a couple there late to Josiah Chester, but I think Coach Jones would like to see that get a little bit better still.
I totally agree, Cole. It looks like you said, Sincere is definitely now starting to get a little bit more comfortable in the pocket. On these rollouts, we're seeing some really precise throws, and that's, a really positive thing that you really want to see from a quarterback. When you're able to scramble and, make accurate passes, that's really hard to do for a young man that age. But like you said, Coach Jones, and the rest of the coaching staff, they really want to see a little bit more consistency out of the quarterback and out of the offensive line. Del City is really doing a really good job, able to move the ball down the field, able to put some points on the board. But like you say, they really would like to establish just a little bit more consistency, on the passing end, a little bit more accuracy as well, from Sincere Overton. But the guys are doing a really good job, big ups and, kudos to the offensive line as well. These guys are able to, really get something going, and they're able to get these running backs, the kind of space, forgive me for saying that again, but they're able to get these guys in the backfield enough space, to kind of break out and do what they, need to do and what they're, capable of doing.
I'm wondering if there is, did Pryor and Collinsville play tonight, Jacoby? Do you know? Or is that game still scheduled for tomorrow? We'll find that out. That is a huge football game. I'd like to get a score on that if we can. So we will work on trying to get those scores popped up for you. I know a lot of games have been moved to tonight, which is interesting because, Gordy, there's storms in Oklahoma City, and I have been reading Carl Albert, for example, was in a weather delay, it looked like. It looked like Coach Dunn had called a weather delay. And so, it makes you wonder why a lot of the teams in the Metro decided to move to tonight when there's going to be storms tonight as well. Exactly. I guess more severe storms possibly tomorrow, but it made sense for this game because we're here in Tahlequah, and there's really no weather going on right now at all. There will be at the end of this game, the tail end of it. In fact, the drive home will be interesting for all of us.
For sure.
But, it made sense in that regard. Looking at scores. Go ahead, Gordy. Go ahead.
No. I was just going to comment, just like you just said before, a lot of teams that had moved their games to Thursday evening instead of Friday, just really not knowing really what to expect. But like you said, they'll probably get a little bit more torrential downpours tomorrow that we'll have to look forward to.
All right, some 5A scores around the state. Booker T. Washington and McAllister are playing. They're tied up at 7, it looks like. Carl Albert and Lawton, 7-0 Carl Albert. They have been in a weather delay. They're just now still in the first quarter.
Oh, my goodness.
Edison and Shawnee 35-0 over them. Claremore 35-0 over Tulsa Memorial. Midwest City 13-0 over Classen SAS. 0-7. Midwest City 1-5. Midwest City desperately needed a win.
Right.
So that's good for them.
Definitely.
Newcastle and MacArthur, it looks like to me they are in a weather delay. They don't show that they've even started. Del City and Tahlequah, of course, 28-7 here. Del City on top. Will Rogers and Nathan Hale. Nathan Hale 26-9. Durant and Coweta tied up at 7. Another delay in El Reno. John Marshall. Noble and Western Heights a delay. Bishop McGinnis 45-7. Already defeated Southeast. Boy, Southeast has been kind of a Cinderella story.
Right.
This year, it looks like the Cinderella story
it's just ended.
Just ended, but they were they beat Midwest City, which was shocking.
They have a really good ball team. They have a lot of youth on that team. When I actually got a chance to watch that game, called a lot of young men on that team. But like you say, they're able to get something going early on in the season. Something to look forward going into next year. And like you say, it's sort of a, not a Cinderella story quite so, but like I said, these guys are really doing a good job of putting together, the pieces that they can to have a successful team. And, congratulations to them out there.
Does look like we are confirmed that the game for tomorrow is still scheduled. Collinsville and Pryor. They did not move it. That means I don't think they're expecting as bad a weather up in the Tulsa area.
Right.
So that would make sense. So the big game for them tomorrow night. In fact, I might try to find a way to tune into that.
Definitely.
As well. So we want to welcome everybody. Again, we're on the halftime show here, brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking. I'm Colton Fleetwood alongside Gordy Jones. And, Gordy, we get a lot of viewers on YouTube.
Uh-huh.
And so we always like to check in with them.
Definitely.
And we do our trivia question that we started doing. And so did you guys have a trivia question while I was gone?
No, not yet. We can come up with some nice ones.
Okay. We'll come up with one. If you'll stay with us, we'll come up with a trivia question once we're about to start the third quarter.
Right.
And if you can answer it, the first person to answer it, you don't win anything. But the only thing you can do is we'll applaud you on the air.
Yeah.
Right? That's the only thing we can really do. But it's just fun. So if you want to answer in, we'd love to see you. And we'll have that coming up here in just a minute. 28-7 our score. Senior night for the band is going on right now. 3 minutes left until kickoff. We'll have to see if the second half gets delayed because of that. Stay with us. You're watching Eagle Football on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it. Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax. Give your car the best with our Top Wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. And finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed. Because your success is our success.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens, there's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, got hail? Call Cantrell.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
when you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it. Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
call Rob and Will.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. Colton Fleetwood, Gordy Jones here. And, hey, let's go ahead and do trivia. Why not? We're still on the senior night for the Tahlequah band, so we're in a delay right now before the second half. It's 28-7 our score, Del City on top. This trivia question brought to you by our friends over at Oklahoma Foundation Solutions. Gordy, what do you got for us? What's the question?
All right. We will say – oh, no, you go ahead and ask the question, Colt.
Okay. You want me to do it?
Okay.
Yeah,
go ahead.
Okay. So, folks, what NFL team drafted former Del City running back Josh Scobie? That's the question. What NFL team drafted Del City running back Josh Scobie? And if you know what round, that's even better. And I don't Google it. See if you can answer it.
Right. But no, you did a really good job, Cole, asking that question. I didn't exactly know exactly what I was going to say.
I kind of threw it at you out of nowhere, so sorry.
Where are my notes?
The delay held us off. So, yeah, first person to answer on YouTube. I don't know.
I know
if I could find a way to get you something, I will. We're working on that. So, Gordy, the score being 28-7, we're in a little bit of a delay. I know senior night's like a special thing, so you don't ever want to criticize senior night. It's a special thing. The band deserves to be recognized, but it is tough. Like when you're a player and you're stretched and you're ready to go, and then the referee's like, "No, we got to wait." Right?
It's such a delay. It kind of takes away the momentum just a little bit, and it's just the same way, when you go through homecoming or when you have, any type of game that is on, live broadcast, you have these delays, between these breaks. And, of course, as a player, you're kind of chomping up at the bit, just really ready to get back in the game, trying to gain that same momentum that you had going out of the first half. And that's what Del City, and the Taloqua Tigers, they're going to really have to do is kind of get back settled in and kind of pick up where they left off. And it's been a long half, so it's going to be really sad. That third quarter is really going to take these guys a lot of time to kind of get back to where they were.
So Tahlequah is just now starting to warm up.
Right.
So we did get a guess. Somebody guessed the Packers.
Oh.
Good guess. That is not correct, though.
Incorrect, but good job.
But I like the guess. We appreciate the guess.
Love the interaction.
You know what I love about that is he was so quick. Whoever guessed that, they were so quick. So I know they didn't Google. They did it the right way. They didn't Google it. And they actually tried to answer it. I love that. You can always tell when you listen to the Sports Animal and you're listening to they do the Johnny's giveaway or whatever. And you can always tell if the first two people don't get it, the third person's going to get it because they had time to Google it, right? We had another guess. Somebody said the Bengals.
Whoa, we got some.
I appreciate the guess.
Some crazy guesses.
That is also not correct. I didn't know it either, to be fair. I
knew it, but it's so many years that have flown by, Cole, since we were younger, that it totally slipped my mind, for sure. But now that I know, we do have the answers.
Now you knew Josh, right?
Actually,
in
Josh
some way.
And I, we played against each other, a few different times on scrimmages. We actually went to college together. My freshman year of college, he was a sophomore at Eastern Oklahoma A&M. He was our starting running back, and I actually, like I said, spent a lot of time with Josh Scobie, learned a lot from him. He was kind of like a big brother to me at that time. And like I said, just really a good guy, smart guy on the field and off the field. Like I said, Josh Scobie, one of Del City's best running backs.
Somebody guessed the Bills?
Incorrect.
That's another good guess because I think, if I'm not mistaken, he did play for the Bills, but was not drafted by the Bills.
Right.
So that's actually a good question. In fact, he definitely did play for the Bills for a year. I think he played in 3 games potentially.
Great. So keep those guesses coming in. Love the answers.
Looks like we're almost ready for football here. Keep guessing, folks. I'll ask the question one more time.
Hopefully we're lucky enough to have a clock running this second half.
No joke. Which NFL team drafted former Del City running back Josh Scobie? played a few years in the league, a couple of them with the team that drafted him. He was drafted in what round? That's a bonus question. If you know that, check in with us on YouTube. Another reminder, you can check in. There's a lot of ways to watch the Del City games. You probably already know them by now, but here's a refresher. You can find us on the Oklahoma Sports Network app. That's the best place to find us because you can download that app onto your Roku device, your Apple device, your iPhone, Android device, whatever you have. You can download it on there, and you can watch all these games for free. Not just Del City, but any other team on the network. We have all 3 Mid-Del schools. We have some more Oklahoma City schools, including Newcastle, Bethany, etc. So that's a good way to do it. You can also find our games on YouTube. Some games will be brought to you on Facebook Live. Those are usually games of the week type of things. We imagine Del City will have one of those here in a week or two. So those are the best ways to find us. We'd appreciate it if you'd like us on Facebook, Instagram, and also X.
Keep those comments coming in.
Still waiting on the correct answer of who drafted former Del City running back Josh Scobie. We'll continue to check those as this game progresses. Tahlequah will kick off to start the second half, trailing 28-7 to the Eagles. They'll be kicking off from left to right on your screen. And this is the first time that Tahlequah has actually kicked off. The AC unit up here in our booth just kicked off, Gordy, and I thought that our headset just went off the air. It scared me for a second. Michael Torkelson, the kicker. It's a high kick that will be returnable at the 10-yard line by Josiah Chester. Chester brings it by the 30 to the 34-yard line. Del City will start there.
Nice carrying by Josiah Chester, able to bring it out to the 35-yard line, around the 34. But let's see if Del City can pick up where they left off. Like you said, Cole, last half, able to establish, the run just a little bit better, get a little bit more consistency with the passing game. And I imagine that the coaches want to, see these guys come out, and develop the same drive that they had that first half.
Somebody guessed the Browns.
Whoa.
Also incorrect.
Man.
Good guess, though. I like it. This is a tough one.
This is a tough one. I do like it.
I'm glad we got a tough one. I like these.
I thought it would have been a little bit easier, but hey, that's good. That's really good.
Hey, we got it. Somebody guessed the Cardinals. There we go. The Arizona Cardinals took him. Now, what round? Who knows that? Here's a handoff running left. Rickland Holmes, couple stiff arms. Flag comes down way behind the play. Rickland fighting hard to get up to close to the 45-yard line. And we'll have to check the flag. The referee threw it on the far side of the field. It was the white hat. He looked over towards the Del City sideline, so this might be on Tahlequah. Let's see. Nope, it is not. It's on Del City. It looked like a block in the back is what it was called.
Not really sure who that was on, but shoot. Unfortunately, Del City has to go back a little bit. But that was a nice, tough run by Holmes on that one. Then you see the Tigers able to put a lot of hats on Rickland Holmes, still unable to bring him down. But like I said, Del City unfortunately had that penalty, so they'll have to bring that one back and try again.
Somebody also guessed the Seahawks, by the way, which is another good guess because he did play for the Seattle Seahawks.
Some of his best years he had with the Seahawks, actually.
All right, back to pass. Overton gets it out to Walter Franklin. Franklin tries to put a move on it. A vicious stiff arm, and then he is tackled at the 29-yard line. Got to love the physicality there from Walter Franklin.
Definitely.
In fact, Walter Franklin's grandma was the one who got the trivia question.
Was it really?
Correct, yeah. Isn't that cool?
That is too cool. Perfect timing and good catch by Walter Franklin on that one. One of our players of the game, a few weeks ago. But like I said, Del City is doing a really good job, trying to get that ball out quickly. But they caught that penalty, which drove them back, so they weren't really able to get enough yards to get back to that line of scrimmage. The Tigers are doing a really good job, making sure they put all hats on the ball, trying to stop Del City, from getting that score like they did, the first half. But
Del City has it at the 29-yard line. They still need to get the ball to the 44, so still a good ways to go. Back to pass, Overton, three-man rush, has plenty of time. Looking, now he's going to roll to his right. That's where he's going to feel some pressure, and he's going to almost avoid all of it, and then he's going to be flung hard out of bounds.
That'll probably be a flag.
Jones, he certainly wanted a flag. I don't know if there was one thrown, though.
No.
Maybe should have been.
It probably was a little bit late as well. I mean, he kind of got to – got a hold of him inside, the line, but once he kind of got to slinging him around, he may have thought he had that penalty, Sincere, but he did not. So good job, by the defense to actually arrange that stop, but Sincere just nowhere to go with the ball on that bootleg.
So 3rd down and long for Del City. And, boy, the Del City coaching staff, they were really unhappy with the no call there.
That was really late. Like I said, that was, pretty well out of bounds.
Overton the snap, throws deep, looking to the far side. It's Josiah Chester again. Really tight, good coverage. And Josiah wants a flag. The Del City coaches want a flag. And I don't see any on the field. So unless you see one, Gordy, it's going to be 4th down for Del City.
No, Josiah Chester really wanted it. Not really able to see who that defensive back, what number that was, but looks like there was a little bit of pull down on that jersey there. So, yeah, it looked like there was a pass interference, a little bit of it, but the referees, they maybe let them just play a little bit. Del City is up by quite a bit, so sometimes you might not get those calls, when they're trying to get that game just rolling along. So, good job and good stop by the Tigers. That's what they wanted. Del City not really able to get it going, but we'll imagine that they'll come out, with a little bit more consistency. Like I said, when you have those long halves, you kind of get a little bit of inconsistency coming out, so we'll see, the Tigers probably go through the same thing.
First punt of the night for Rickland Holmes. This is going to be returnable, but lets it bounce instead. Had they caught that one cleanly, probably would have had more yards. Still gets it up close to midfield, and that's where Taloqua will take off. Now, Gordy, one thing I'll admit, I try to take as much pride as possible.
Right.
This is the flagship station for Del City. So we're Del City supporters. I mean, we're not hiding that. But at the same time, I do try to be as fair as I possibly can. And I didn't think that was pass interference. I thought it was good coverage.
I understand. I totally understand.
Looked like the defender to me, located the football, turned his head around, tried to make a play on the ball. To me, that was pretty good coverage. I understand the Del City coaches were right there in front of it. They may have saw something that I couldn't from the complete opposite side.
Right.
And we're about a mile up in the air as if we're watching from a helicopter.
Exactly.
So, I mean, you never know. But from up here, it looked like good coverage to me. So.
No, the receivers, they want to receive. They want to pass interference, most of the time. But just like I said, I think you saw exactly what the referee saw. So it seems like a fair call to me.
Talbert rolls out off play action, throws deep down the field, has a man wide open. It's dropped. Boy, that's tough because that was a really nice throw. Ashton,
right in the bed, right in the bread basket there for number 11. Looks like he just kind of turned and ran before he actually had control of the ball, and that ball was just able to kind of get right through those arms. But that's another one he'd love to have back. But yeah, I said, good job by the stop on Del City's defense, though.
Taloqua has had a chance to make some plays there. That was Ashton Morgan on the drop, and boy, he would love to have another opportunity at that one.
Wide open.
2nd down and 10 coming up for Tahlequah. Will Talbert actually has been pretty good.
Right.
Made some pretty good throws. Yeah. I mean, we watched him warm up, and he looks pretty good. Back to pass again is Talbert. Here comes the pressure, and he is going down. Sacked. First man to get there was Jalen Andrews. The second was Rickland Holmes, and they got there quickly. 3rd down and long coming up.
They've been doing it all night, Colt. I mean, these guys have been, every time that they blitz, Rickland Holmes is able to get to the backfield so quickly. And, of course, Jalen Andrews, he's doing a really good job of being the first one there, and he's done that, a few times this evening. But like I said, Del City is doing a really good job, and we actually kind of see them rotating guys in, rotating guys out, especially on that defensive line where they're keeping the fresh legs. And that way, they're able to kind of stop these guys in the backfield as many times as they have.
Tahlequah needs to get the ball to the Del City 41-yard line, backed all the way up to their own 41. So they need 20 full yards to get it. 2 receivers to the top of your screen, 3 to the near side. Talbert takes the snap, had a little bit of trouble controlling it. Now he gets it, throws over the middle, and another drop. Another perfect throw off the hands of another receiver. Boy, that's frustrating. Michael Torkelson that time on the drop, 2 drops on that drive.
Right.
Both tailor-made throws. By Talbert.
Goodness. Yes, Talbert, like you said before, just really put him on the money. You really can't ask for a better pass than that as a receiver. It's just right in the hands. These guys are just not able to bring these passes in, and that'll just be a killer, for the momentum on the offensive end.
So now another punt for Tahlequah as this game, another score probably puts an end to it. You would imagine this is a mile-high punt, but a short punt that'll bounce near the 40, takes an eagle bounce up to the 43 to the 44-yard line. That's where Del City will have it. They'll have good field position as that was the first maybe poor punt of the night for Talbert. But, man, they ask a lot of that young man. He's really playing well. And I love the fact, his coach just walked over there to him and patted him and said, hey, I'm sure, great job. Nothing you can do about that.
Definitely.
You did your job.
doing all that he can, and it's, like I said, doing a really good job of passing this whole evening. He just got to have some help, just really has to have help by his receivers, and they really have, a really good amount of talent on this team. You can see, the quickness. They just have to, develop that consistency. But we knew it. Like I said, coming out of that long half, both teams were going to be, a little bit sloppy, but hopefully, like I said, Del City, can kind of get a little bit more settled in this drive.
First fumble on the play. Ball still loose. Picked up by Black Wolf. He fumbles it now. Ball still loose. Who's got it? Big pile up. Referees are going to have to pull everyone up to try to see who's got it. I think Tahlequah got it this time. Let's see. Tahlequah thinks they got it. Nope. Del City got it. How about that? Who jumped on that ball? Somebody gave a lot of effort to get to that.
Right.
Was it Black Wolf that came back and got it himself?
It was.
Boy.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Black Wolf fought hard to get that ball.
That was a battle. That ball was moving around quite a bit, and a lot of bounce on it.
That was a read play from Sincere Overton. I think he got caught up maybe on if he wanted to keep it or if he wanted to hand it off. He tried to pull it out. It looks like he wanted to give it to Black Wolf and then pulled it out very late and lost the handle of it.
Definitely.
So Del City fortunate to only have a loss of 3 instead of a turnover.
Just a little sloppy. Let's see if these guys can be a little bit more consistent.
Overton gets to Walter Franklin. Walter with a couple good moves. Now going backwards back to the 44-yard line. Flag comes down. That might be a face mask. That was thrown by the near line judge. And the reaction from the Taloqua coaches was that might have been a face mask. Let's see. It was a face mask. Yep, there you go. 15 yards from the spot of the foul. The penalty happened at the 44-yard line, so that'll give Del City a first down. Boy, Tahlequah not helping themselves on that.
Not at all. Huh? I mean, it was a great pass, but not able to get upfield, but able to kind of escape with one, with the face mask penalty, give them a great amount of yards, able to kind of get on their side of the field, but just kind of shooting themselves in the foot, unfortunately.
Overton going to take the snap, take off running immediately to the right, picks up a few yards down to the 37-yard line. He was hit hard. Pops right up, though.
Again, just trying to get that run established. Sincere Overton doing a really good job making his way up the middle, keeping control of that ball, able to get a good amount of yards, almost 5 on that carry.
Del City needs to get it to the 31. Black Wolf and Holmes in the backfield. Ricklin takes the carry. Somehow squirts free from the pile to the 25-20. Looking for a block. Couldn't get it, but still gets the ball down to the 15-yard line. Another Eagle first down. Great run from Ricklin Holmes.
Started out as just a simple lead play to the left side, but Ricklin Holmes able to kind of move his motion his way out, break a few tackles, and make his way out to the right side, breaking away for a great first down. Once again, another great carry by Ricklin Holmes.
Del City taking their time getting to the line of scrimmage to run this play. They finally get the call. Here they come. 7:40 left to go in quarter number 3. Del City already leads at 28-7, trying to add on to the lead. Overton takes the snap, going to run right, gets a couple blockers, cuts it back upfield to the 10. Inside the 10 he goes to the 8-yard line. A good pickup on first down for Sincere, pickup of 6.
Having a lot of success over here to the right side, kind of breaking this defensive line down just a tad bit, able to kind of wear him down. Offensive line is able to kind of get a really good amount of consistency going, able to push these guys this drive.
So now for Del City, do you just keep running the ball? I mean, that's been right now. Tahlequah is really struggling to stop the run. Or does Del City go ahead and try to maybe play action pass? Let's see. Del City may take a timeout to talk this one over. Looked like there was some confusion getting that play call in. Timeout, Del City. 6:56 left to go in quarter number 3. Del City knocking on the doorstep, leading by 3 touchdowns on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
At Tommy's Express Car Wash, we know how to love your ride. Try the Works Wash with our signature 14-step cleaning process, engineered to shine and shield your car from the elements. From breaking down dirt and bugs with our Detox Pre-Wash to restoring your vehicle's finish with our ceramic body wax, Give your car the best with our top wash. Then complete the clean with free vacuums and mat washers. Download our app and get your first 30 days of the works for free. Tommy's Express. Love your ride.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rolling.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage to your roof and an insurance claim. When that happens...
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. Del City second down and about 4. Need to get the ball to the 5 right now. A really tight formation. Overton takes the ball and runs forward. Picks up a couple, and then I get, oh boy, he actually picked up quite a bit. They almost gave him the first down to the 6-yard line.
Del City deciding once again to keep the ball on the ground and keep it in Sincere Overton's hands, just trying to be protective of the ball, and I can understand why. They've had a really good amount of success driving the ball, and of course, keeping the heels, the Tigers defense on their heels this drive.
Overton again, this time going to run right. Looked like Taloqua was really stacking the middle of the box, and he took off running right, picks up the first down to the 1, back into the red zone, by the way, which is brought to you by Bail Bonds by Tamra. We appreciate Tamra's sponsorship. And if you've missed the ball on paying a ticket, all you got to do is call Bail Bonds by Tamra at 405-200-5110. She has 15-plus years of serving the community over at Bail Bonds by Tamra.
All right.
Second half sponsor also brought to you by Bobby Lewis Insurance. Forgot to tell you about that. We'll tell you more about Bobby Lewis here shortly. Sincere Overton takes the carry, initially stops, second effort, gets into the end zone, touchdown Del City, and the Eagles now take a commanding 34-7 lead. And need to tell you about our Bobby Lewis Insurance friend there. Surprisingly great rates with 2 locations to serve you, one in Choctaw at 405-281-6700, and also Del City's location at 405-670-3665. He's also our whole second half sponsor as well. That touchdown by Sincere Overton brought to you by Madison's Country Cooking. Again, the keyword this week is Thunder. 10% off all purchases if you use that keyword this week. Extra point up, extra point good. 35-7 our score, Del City. We'll take a quick break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
There's not a better company to deal with on your insurance claim than Cantrell Roofing and Construction. Since 1987, Cantrell Roofing and Construction has proven to be the best in the business. And always remember, God hail, call Cantrell.
Back live on the Oklahoma Sports Network, 35-7 our score. Rickland Holmes about set to kick off a Del City Chamber of Commerce kickoff. Let's see what, I got to tell you, Rickland's really gotten really good at kickoffs.
Definitely.
He's really pretty good at everything he does.
Definitely. He's our all-around player for sure. Of course, one of our favorite players to watch, along with some of the other stars here at Del City.
There's the kick. Going to be returned inside the 10 by Taloqua. Pretty good return past the 30 after spinning off a tackle to the 31-yard line. That's one of the more explosive players for Tahlequah. He's had a decent night. Cale Dobbins had a touchdown tonight on a deep pass.
I think the Tahlequah Tigers, especially the crowd, they brought a pretty good crowd, so I think they want to kind of give these guys something to get excited about.
Yeah, I mean, for Tahlequah, it is tough, man. They've just had kind of a tough season. They had a lot of high hopes for this season, and they lost a heartbreaker to Claremore, lost a close one to Collinsville, and then the prior game just got away from them. And tonight they felt like they were in this, and then now it's just now it's out of hand at 35-7.
It gets like that sometimes.
play action, throws behind Gertie. And, boy, actually, I think Gertie's probably glad he did not catch that because Draquan Wright was closing in, and that would have been a big blindside hit.
Looked like Gertie may have reached out just a little bit, like maybe for a fake read, but I think him and the tailback, Gertie, may have been on a different page at that moment. So he was able to try to get that ball out quickly, but that pass was just incomplete.
2nd down and 10 coming up for Tahlequah. 5:51 left to go in quarter number 3. Still a big crowd here. Nobody's left here from the Tahlequah side. Loyal fan base. I have heard, I think it was Eve that was telling me, Gordy, that for college football games, this stadium is packed.
Right, definitely. This is, one of the towns I love, especially these smaller towns. Tahlequah, they have a really good community, that kind of really supports this school, and you really see a lot of love, on those game days.
Pickup of about 4 to the 35-yard line brings up 3rd down.
Again, the Tigers just trying to establish something, just trying to get something positive going with these quick passes. Again, trying to see if they can get the ball moving consistently, by using this pass and trying to get Gertie a little bit more involved.
My friend Chris Dotson just texted me and said, man, that 77 step up to the press box, my knees still feel that.
Right.
And not joking, man. This is a steep press box, no elevator. I thought my Achilles tendon was going to pop just coming up here. There's a shuffle pass to the left. Del City reads it well, and they get the stop. It'll be 4th down for Tahlequah. Huge, huge hit.
Just nothing going, and great hit.
Was that Rickland Holmes?
That was Rickland Holmes once again. Yeah. I told you, he is just really becoming just a disruptor on the defensive end every time, when he's kind of blitzing in and coming in quick off that corner, just stopping everything that's coming his way.
Tahlequah appears like they're going to go for this, which you have nothing to lose, right? Just might as well see if you can't keep grinding away at trying to get this game as close as possible. Takes the snap, back is Talbert. Talbert looking, under pressure, he's sacked. Taken down by whom? It was Devin Joseph who cleaned it up. And boy, is that good redemption for Devin Joseph because it was his roughing the passer that led to Tahlequah's 1 touchdown tonight. He makes up for it on that play. Del City going to get good field position at the Tiger 31.
So quick and so powerful on the end. Devin Joseph, like you said, able to kind of make up for some of those, bad plays earlier. He's done a really good job tonight, and he's done a really good job, in the last few weeks, establishing himself as a dominant figure, on the defensive line. And way to stay consistent, and good job for these guys.
Del City's offense going to come back out here, and this is a thing for Del City where, it's hard to want to pull your starters. You're only up 28, so you're not thinking about that quite yet.
Right.
But it is hard because you really want your guys to get as many reps as you can against good competition as Black Wolf takes this carry inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. But that's something we've had that conversation with Coach Jones before. He's like, man, I'd love to get some different guys in there, but at the same time, my starters need to play a 4-quarter game.
Definitely.
Against good competition. And Tahlequah is good competition. This is a good football team.
One thing we have yet to see is just a complete game, by the Eagles, and I think that's one thing that Coach Jones kind of consistently says is that he really wants to see, on all ends, clicking on all cylinders.
Overton keeps it around the right side. Overton to the 20, 15, 10, gets a block from Chester. Overton into the end zone for a Eagle touchdown.
Oh, you see what makes him, such a figure on the deep, as far as Del City goes. Sincere Overton, the speed of a quarterback, especially at a young age like that, able to break right up the middle. Just almost untouched but complete, run by Sincere Overton. Just great speed by this young man.
Now, I got to tell you, with Sincere, these last 2 weeks, he's made some mistakes, but he is progressively getting better as this season goes along to where teams watching that had to play Del City in the playoffs are probably going, oh, gosh, here we go. So there's the extra point, kick up, kick good. 42-7 our score. 3:39 left in the third quarter. Still a lot of football left to be played, but Del City has this one pretty much in the bag. We'll take a quick break on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
College is more than just going to class. College is a journey. It's meeting new people and making new friendships that will last a lifetime. It's learning from professors who care about you and your success. and finding out it can be really fun and rewarding. It's discovering that thing you want to do for the rest of your life. Cameron University is all about helping you grow and succeed, because your success is our success.
If you've lived in Oklahoma long enough, you'll know that we get extreme weather. With that extreme weather comes hail damage.
Back live with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Rick Lindholm's about to kick it away. Another kickoff brought to you by the Del City Chamber of Commerce, where the Del City Chamber of Commerce is the trusted resource for advocacy, education, and engagement to help you improve your business. Big kick. It's going to be fielded at the 5-yard line. And another return to about the 26-yard line. Del City's done a great job covering kicks tonight, as there's a little extracurricular activity after the play.
A little chippy down there.
Good job by the Eagles to keep their composure. Nothing comes out of it.
Right.
So, right. Gordy, here's the thing. Like, right now, with Del City being up 42-7, for Taloqua, it's like they got to keep playing for pride.
Yes.
At this point, they've pretty much been eliminated from playoff contention. I think with this loss, they're done.
Right.
So for them, this is about their coaches maybe trying to find some young players. I mean, I know it's tough because you don't want to put a young player out there against a team like Del City having to hurt them. At the same time, you want to try to build for the future?
You would think so. In a situation like this, of course, I imagine that Taloqua will try to put a little bit more points on the board. Incomplete pass right there, and good coverage as well.
Yep. Great coverage, Caden Johnson.
Yeah.
Taloqua wanted a flag, didn't get it.
But like I said, I was about to say, as a coach, you really want to try to, get something developed. And, yeah, you definitely want to get these younger players in to try to get them some work. And we'll probably see them coming here, sprinkling in the game, here and again, I imagine pretty soon here. But, during that third quarter, you really want to see if these starters can, get something going and try to, be what you thought that they were. They did a really good job today of, starting off, being a little bit more, consistent on the offensive line. But like I said, Del City's defense has just done a really good job of stopping these guys. But I imagine, they'll try to see what they can get going.
Fumble, ball on the ground, recovered by the running back there.
That's not going to do it.
Yeah.
That's not going to help, for sure.
Yeah, that won't do it. It is the backup running back is in the ball game right now. Axton Carshall.
Axton.
What did I say?
That's nice. That's nice.
Did I say it right?
Right.
Okay.
You're right.
I said it right. It's spelt Xaxton. So, yeah, I would assume Axton is how you perform it. That's cool. I like that. I really like that name.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
I'm done having kids, Gordy, but, do you ever hear a name where you're like, man, if I had another kid,
right,
that would be a name.
That's one of the ones that I probably like. I probably get a little bit of hatred, from my wife, but, it sounds cool to me, for sure.
Yeah, anytime. I mean, just listen, folks, young men at home that don't have a wife yet, if you come up with a name and you're excited about it, just be prepared. It's going to get shot down.
It's going to get shot down.
It's going to get shot down.
Oh,
it's just going to happen.
I try to name my son Jet, because I was like, I know this kid is going to be fast. His last name is Jones. Jet Jones would have just been like, I was like, I can't wait to get home and tell her the name that I thought of. She was like, that's stupid. And I just broke my whole face. It's like, okay. Never mind then. Never mind.
Well, that would have been a pretty cool one. That would have been pretty cool. Hey, you came close, right?
There's nothing I can do. I'm like, I went back to the drawing board. Let's come up with some new names,
Yeah.
Something else for her to turn down. Yeah.
Third down and 12. Taloqua's offense. 3 receivers to the near side. Back to pass. Pressure coming. Ooh, they set up a screen, but nobody was out there looking for it.
Nobody there. Just miscommunication between the quarterback and the running back, and it looks like he just did not even get his head turned around to even see that pass. So we've had that happen a few times tonight, unfortunately, with the Tigers.
So now another punt coming up for Tahlequah. .244 left to go in the third quarter. Boy, this third quarter has lasted an eternity.
It's been a long one, almost longer than a half.
So I really want to read this one. This is a great comment.
Please.
Could you guys give a shout-out to Basil Gunter Jr.? He's up on the sideline. He is feeling better now. That's awesome.
That is
Love
awesome.
to hear that. That was actually a scary moment. We've been concerned about it.
For sure.
And have received text about that. So thank you for that. We are really excited that he's okay.
Definitely.
Punt return by Nicholas Holmes, and he's got a lot of Tigers around him to the 41. And, ooh, man, he was hit late. Kind of speared into the ground. Not sure why that was not a penalty. There is a flag down on the complete opposite side of the field, though.
Looks like the referees may be looking at the wrong thing.
Yeah, man, that was egregiously late.
That was a late hit if there was one tonight. We'll see what this call is. One thing I like about these Tahlequah fans, they get fired up. For sure. They support their Tigers, and that's a good thing.
I do like, they called a personal foul on Taloqua, so they at least got one of them.
Right.
Whether or not it was that one or a different one, who knows?
Yeah, it's getting a little chippy out there, and it tends to get like this when the score is what it is.
So Del City's offense going to come back out on the field. Referees are having a short discussion here with 2.5 minutes left to go in quarter number 3. Tell you what, still a lot of credit to Tahlequah's fans. They've still not left. Trying to see, Del City's coaches are having a conversation with the white hat. I'm trying to see which coach that is. Is that Coach Cox? Looks like it is.
Yeah, it is. Trying to get a better explanation of what happened, I imagine.
Maybe, yeah. Interesting. Overton takes the snap, going to run right, gets a couple blocks, and going to be a good run because I thought he was going to be brought down back at the 43. Instead, pushed his way forward all the way to the 47-yard line.
Once again, another run to the right side. I think they have, quite a bit of success there, so I imagine they just kind of want to keep that consistency going. But what about the left side? Let's try that out, get these offensive line, a little bit more work before you start subbing these guys out.
Second and 5 coming up for Del City. Overton, 3 receivers to the near side, 1 to the far. Takes the snap. Going to be a quick pass out to Josiah Chester, but the play will get stopped with multiple flags coming out. Boy, Josiah took a big hit.
Did he?
It'll be a false start on Del City. That'll back them up, make it 2nd and 10.
Not sure who that was on, but.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they had to have got the false start right, but.
Good job to get the ball out quickly by Overton.
That, to me, could have also been a personal foul. I thought they hit Sincere late.
Man, he was a little slow to get up.
So 2nd and 10 coming up for Del City. Yet again, 3 receivers down here to the near side. Rickland Holmes in the backfield with Sincere Overton. Black Wolf in motion from left to right. He's going to be the lead blocker for Rickland Holmes as he gets the edge. Rickland Holmes still running, 40, 35, spins off a couple tacklers, refusing to go down to the 25, still on his feet to the 20, out of bounds at the 18-yard line. A big-time run from Rickland Holmes, and a Tiger is down on the play.
Big time indeed, Colt. I'm talking about hard-nosed running, getting those knees up, refusing to go down, able to make his way all the way up to almost the 20-yard line. But I said before, Del City is doing a really good job on that left side, establishing dominance, able to push that defensive line to the Tigers' back. But great job and great run again by Mr. Holmes.
In the backfield by himself is Overton. Quick pass out here to Josiah Chester. Chester, good tackle in the backfield. Really good play by number 21, I think it was, which is Chris Perry. Nice tackle. Way to get off a block and get in there and make a play.
Great open field tackle, and it looks like he even took his shoe with him, but he's able to toss that back to the receiver.
So Del City backed up a little bit here. I think that was a loss of about 3. It says Sincere puts the ball in the air. He will not. Going to run right this time. Picks up a few yards and dives forward to the 14-yard line.
That's good.
So it gives them a chance at 3rd down. They need to get the ball to the 8.
We got kids losing shoes all over the place out here, Colt.
We got a comment, and I this is true. I didn't know that. I don't think the announcers realized number 57, Devin Joseph, and number 10, Cam Digert, are brothers.
I did not know that.
I did not know that. Interesting. We'll have to remember that. Thank you for letting us know.
For sure.
Timeout called by Del City. 14 seconds left to go in the third quarter. 42-7, Del City leads, and they're knocking on the doorstep, trying to add on to their lead yet again. We'll be right back. You're watching Eagle Football on the Oklahoma Sports Network. Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. 3rd down and 5 for Del City. The way Del City is set up does appear like they'll probably run this with Overton, and they will. Run it to the left side. Overton trying to get some blocks, gets inside the 10, has the first down to the 5, down to the 3, and he'll go down there. 1st and goal coming up for Del City. Back in the red zone they are. Brought to you by Bail Bonds by Tamra.
Nice keeper by Sincere Overton to the left side on that run. Able to get it almost to the goal line.
And that'll do it for the third quarter. As we're going to break, want to give a shout-out to Del City's Pom Squad, who couldn't be here tonight. They wanted to be here tonight, but they will be at the next home game. Looking forward to seeing them. Shout-out to the Del City Pom Squad. Got requested to say that, but they deserve the shout-out. They do a great job. We've had them on our halftime show a couple times, and they do a great job. So we'll be right back. One more break. I know we're taking a lot. Bear with us, folks. You're watching Eagle Football for quarter number 4 on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Last year, 35% of all auto accident deaths were rollovers.
If you've been in a wreck, don't hesitate to call us.
This is why you need our number in your phone. This could be you.
When you call our firm, you're going to get one of us, not some paralegal or office manager.
Most lawyers, they take more money than their clients. Most of the time, a lot more.
We don't, and we guarantee it.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Welcome back to the Oklahoma Sports Network. Del City 1st and goal to start the fourth quarter, leading at 42-7. Reminder, our fourth quarter brought to you by Bobby Lewis Insurance. Surprisingly great rates with 2 locations to serve you in Del City and in Choctaw.
Insurance.
Overton with Black Wolf set off to his right. Takes the snap, hands to Black Wolf. Before the play gets off, though, there's a flag and a whistle. This will most likely be a false start on Del City. That'll back them up.
They're going to give Coach Robert Jones a heart attack tonight, unfortunately. I feel so bad for him. He's had a lot of times where he's had to see the field, and this is not the way you want to come out of a timeout, unfortunately.
No, that's Coach Jones. That's the one thing, man. They do have to clean that up.
Right.
These penalties are going to be a problem as you start approaching playoff time.
That's the truth. That's what I was just about to say, Cole. You're getting so close to the playoffs. This is the time that you really want to clean a lot of that stuff up.
Overton the snap. And, boy, that play was almost blown up. But somehow Black Wolf escapes, gets loose to the corner, dives for the pylon. Did he get in? No. Going to mark him out of bounds at the 3. Just stepped out, I think, as he lunged for the end zone. Great effort from Black Wolf. I thought that play was going nowhere, and somehow Black Wolf was able to make something out of nothing.
Almost had him dead to rights in the backfield, but Caleb Blackwolf is so athletic and so quick, so tough, able to make his way out to that edge and almost get to the end zone, but unfortunately stepped out of bounds. But like you say, just a tough run.
So Del City will try it again. Second and goal. Low snap. Great job by Overton to corral it. Now he tries to keep it running left. Had nowhere to go. Stays on his feet. Still on his feet. And, oh, my gosh. How is he still on his feet? Overton looking, making moves. That was remarkable, but that was a huge loss on the play.
Fighting for his life, Sincere Overton was, on that one. I mean, just refusing to go down. Knocking off tacklers, juking out players. He's doing what he can to just stay up and make something out of nothing, but not able to kind of shake free. We have a player down with the Tigers, but, Sincere Overton kind of able to keep the ball exactly where it was. A little bit of a loss there, but just nice, tough run. Try to fight his way out the best way possible, but like I said, unfortunately, not able to do that.
Looks like he got his helmet ripped off.
He did, a little bit.
I'll tell you what, that was a loss of yardage, like actually a pretty big loss, but
right.
Sincere made some guys look pretty silly right there, with all due respect.
Made a few guys miss, socked a couple guys in the helmet, just really trying to do what he can to break free.
So there is a shaken up Tiger, so I don't want to take a break, folks. I know you guys have had a lot of breaks, so
keep it moving.
We'll just keep it here.
Definitely.
And, we really enjoy doing this, folks. And so I know these games, like a Tahlequah, it's a 2-hour and 45-minute drive.
Right.
And it's been stormy, so like a lot of people didn't come to the game tonight, which is understandable. We appreciate that you tuned in to us, that you've trusted us to be able to bring this game to you. We appreciate it. We really enjoy doing what we do.
Definitely.
So I just want to say thank you. There's a lot of folks on YouTube that message with us back and forth. We enjoy interacting with you. We had parents at home, some of the home games that come up and talk to us. It is nice to meet the players' families so we know who they are.
Definitely.
And sometimes we like to find out more about your player. So if you see us at the home game next week, we'd love to meet you. We're both willing to sit there and talk, and we might even take some notes if you have some things you want to tell us about your kid, and might mention it on the air. So that's something to keep in mind, and we just want to try to make this as fun for you as it is for us at home. So
very well said, Colt.
Third down for Del City. They are backed up to the 17-yard line. They got to punch this ball into the end zone. Have 2 plays to do so unless they decide to kick a field goal. As we're going to have to wait a little longer. I apologize. It makes me sound insensitive. I did not realize the Tahlequah players really struggling to get off the field. Right. I do hate to see that.
For sure. Hopefully he's all right.
Man. All right. Looks like Davion Simmons possibly is checked into the game at quarterback for Del City.
Got to change.
Davion's going to get an opportunity to air one out. Flag comes down. Davion extending the play, still looking. Now he's going to try to run, tries to put a move on. He'll be tackled at the 13-yard line. Have to check the flag.
Just so quick these flags are coming out. Not exactly sure what happened, but just not really a lot going on.
Looks like a legal formation on Del City.
I see.
So let's see. I think they declined that penalty, right? Yeah. Make it 4th down. Don't give them an extra play. Excuse me. Del City will have it at the 14-yard line. Still have to punch it in. 1 play to do it now on 4th down. 11:08 left to go in the game.
Like Del City's going to go ahead and go for it.
Rickland Holmes still in the game. Josiah Chester to the far side of the screen. Nicholas Holmes will be in the slot over there. Near side is Caleb Blackwolf and Walter Franklin.
It's the all-star lineup of receivers right here.
And Del City will take another timeout. So we will take a timeout with them. Sorry, folks. I know. We've taken a lot of them. We're going to take another break. 42-7. Del City has a 4th down when we come back on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Yep.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
And we're back. 4th down for Del City. I think, is that Overton back in there?
We got Sincere back in the game.
Sincere, back to pass, looking, over the middle, throws almost. Just a little over the head of Josiah Chester. He was open, just barely missed him. It'll be a turnover for Del City. Still leading at 42-7, though, with 11 minutes left to go in the ball game.
Yeah, just got away from him just a little bit. Had an open receiver, but just right over the top of his head. That's one thing, that Sincere has had a little bit of troubles with tonight is just being a little bit more consistent, getting that ball down, just the trajectory of the ball just in general. He's just not able to kind of complete some of those passes, but he's done a really good job on the ground, really good job of running the ball. Del City's done a really good job of establishing the run this game and kind of keeping, the Tigers on their heels throughout the night. But those throws, that's one of the things that going into this next game, especially going into next week, that's one of the things that I bet you Coach Jones and the rest of the coaching staff would like to see Sincere get better on.
There's a run to the left. Good run. Up the middle, past the 20 to the 25. And a Taloqua first down. Good run.
Good run. Good run. Way to keep those feet moving up the middle. Once again, Gertie hanging tough. Trying to do everything that he can to help out the Tigers offense.
Man, the Oklahoma City Thunder in overtime again.
Are they really?
Yeah, right now.
Good TV.
Trailing by 3 right now with 3 minutes and 26 seconds left to go.
To see those highlights. Shout out to the OKC Thunder.
I got to tell you, man, I used to not mind the Pacers.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll get back to that in a minute. Handoff to Gertie. Gertie running left. Good run to the 30. And that's where he goes down. Draquan right on the tackle. He's a little shaken up, but he's able to get himself back to his feet. Yeah, I mean, speaking NBA here, I used to kind of like the Pacers. My wife's from Indiana,
Same.
and so I'm kind of like, yeah, I mean, I don't mind the Pacers. And after the finals last year, I don't like them anymore.
It's like that. Once a team becomes a rival, you don't look at them quite the same. I remember back in the day, I was a New York Knicks fan back in the Patrick Ewing days, and I hated Reggie Miller. But now I respect him so much.
Deep ball down the seam. It is caught. Dragging Caden Johnson, who's able to finally bring him down to the 25-yard line. Nice, really nice throw. Really nice catch out there by Ashton Morgan. He dropped one earlier. He makes up for it on that play with a great catch and a great effort to get up the field to the 26.
That was a good one. Really good one on that one. Good job, by Talbert to kind of get him that ball. And, of course, Talbert's done a good job of getting these guys the ball. He just really haven't got the receivers to actually catch it. But like you say, Ray to make up for that one. And probably one of the better passes of the night and definitely the best reception by that receiver. So good job by those guys.
Tahlequah now putting together a drive. Handoff again. Up the middle, it's Gertie. Gertie brought down, looks like that was Gylan King who was able to make that tackle. And
another good Del City lineman, able to really get something going.
I don't even know if it has anything to do with the Pacers of why I dislike them. I was in Missouri during the NBA Finals. My son was playing a baseball tournament there, and there was a lot of Pacer fans there. We played a lot of teams from Indiana. It was a big World Series event. And, I remember one of the games, the other team beat my son's team, going through the handshake line saying, Pacers in 7, Pacers in 7, as they were shaking hands.
Was.
Yeah, that did it.
That was it.
I guess it wasn't anything the Pacers did. Just some
that kid.
Just some little 12-year-olds,
It was that kid. Oh, man. But, yeah, that's something you don't want to hear, especially during playoff time. Everybody can get disrespected, around times like that. It's really tense.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was our first championship, too, so, anybody can get trash talk.
Man, and it was after – I'm going to take a shot. I'm not trying to. This is unintentional.
What?
But, Oklahoma and Oklahoma State college football were really pretty bad last year, so they needed it. The Oklahoma fans just needed it,
For sure. Definitely perfect timing.
Third down for Taloqua. They need to get the ball to about the 16-yard line. Backed up to the 20. Handoff Gertie. Great tackle for a loss. That was, whom was that, 55?
Yep.
Sorry, it's taking me a second. That is the right number, correct?
That was 55. Yeah, that was Daniels.
That is, yep. Ariane Daniels, great job. Boy, the Del City offensive and defensive line tonight, huge redemption game, especially for the offensive line. The defensive line's been good all year, but they have played well at both ends tonight.
For sure.
They've had a couple plays, but for the most part, they've really controlled the line of scrimmage on both ends.
Right. Last week, playing against, the team that they did, we were able to get a good run established pretty early on. One thing that Del City really wanted to come out today and do was stop that, stop any runs up the middle. Gertie is doing a really good job, of course, carrying the ball. Not a lot of yards, but, when he's getting it going, he's, been able to establish, some good ones. But I said, great job by Del City today on the defensive end, able to kind of stop any of those long runs and down and distances.
Another timeout called by Tahlequah. 7:08 left to go in the game. We'll keep it here. I don't want to take another break. 42-7 our score. Try to get some scores around the state here if we can in 5A. If you'll give me a moment, I might be able to get you some of those. Let's see.
That's good.
Like I said earlier, Pryor and Collinsville for sure. They will play tomorrow. Their game is still set as far as I know. I did not see any score updates for them. McAllister 29, Booker T. Washington 15 in the fourth quarter. Carl Albert 42, Lawton 0. Second quarter, it says. They were in a big delay.
Oh, my goodness.
Claremore 58, Tulsa Memorial 0. Shawnee 38, Edison Prep 0. Midwest City 13, Classen SAS 0. I would imagine that probably is not accurate unless they're still in a delay. MacArthur 12, Newcastle 6. Coweta 23, Durant 7. Nathan Hale 26, Will Rogers 9. And that's all we got for right now. So not a lot of big-time games out there, a lot of blowouts, which we've been getting more and more of those, it seems like, throughout the state.
Pretty much.
Fourth down, back to pass, flag comes in as Talbert was just about to just launch it to the end zone. And did they call that on Del City? I think they did, didn't they?
Let's see, was it offsides?
It is. It is offsides. So that will be really close to a first down. I think it's going to be just shy, about a yard short of the first down marker. So this makes this a more manageable fourth down for the Tigers.
Giving them their best field position of the night, actually.
I would imagine Gertie probably gets this. See if the Del City front seven can get another stop. Although Tahlequah going to make a change here at the line of scrimmage. Still plenty of time on the play clock. Going to be a run by Talbert to the left. Talbert hit, and he's trying to keep driving his legs. He ended up getting it to the 15. It is going to be enough for a first down. Great effort by the quarterback of Tahlequah. He's had actually, that is like the one thing I can tell you for sure. He has had a nice night. He's played really well.
He has played. Like I said, put this team as much as he could on his back tonight, just doing everything that he can, to pretty much keep these guys going. Doing a really good job on that keeper, able to get that first down and keep this drive going. But like you said, just a really good show by this quarterback today, and I'm definitely impressed with the toughness.
We're going to have a heck of a time choosing a player of the game tonight. I think everybody who scored touchdowns tonight has already won it, and we only give it once in a season to one player, so we're going to have to figure it out. We may have to give it to a defensive lineman.
You may have to.
Let's look at that. Back to pass, Talbert throws, end zone. Caden Johnson in coverage. It's caught. Perfect throw.
I'm telling you.
Great catch as well, and that was, I think, Ashton Morgan again who made the catch. It was Ashton Morgan for the touchdown, his first touchdown catch of the night, second touchdown pass tonight for Talbert, and that was a dime.
That was just a dime. Like you said, you don't really get any prettier than that. Right over the shoulder for the receiver. But, I mean, Talbert's been doing his thing all night, able to kind of show us, what he has talent-wise, running the ball, passing the ball, making good reads on the run and all these read options as well. But like I said, just a really good show by this kid. I'm definitely impressed with what we've seen tonight.
Good kick. 42-14 the score with 6:20 left to go in the game. While I have a moment, I want to thank all of our sponsors tonight. I'm going to go through and just kind of mention them off. This is something I always do towards the end of the game. Precision Nutrition of Del City. Keyline Mag, Bucks Flight Academy, DC Transmission, Triple Elite Screen Printing, the Del City Chamber of Commerce, Madison's Country Cooking, Whataburger on 15th Street, Midwest City, Bobby Lewis Insurance, and then, of course, our Red Zone sponsor, Bail Bonds by Tamra. We appreciate all of them. And here in just a little bit, we'll announce our Robert Kalsu Player of the Game. So after the game, we'll announce that. The unfortunate part is we don't get to do the cool thing of going down the field and interviewing them.
Right.
Because our mic we're so far up and the glass is so heavy, we were not getting a connection with our mic. We tried. Unfortunately, just could not get that to work. But that's the unfortunate part. So the player will get that trophy first thing Monday morning.
Right.
From what I understand, I think that's I guess maybe Friday morning since this is a Thursday night game. Not sure. Yeah. But that player will get that Robert Kalsu Legacy Group Player of the Game. So I want to tell you about that award and why it is so special. So the Player of the Game is brought to you by the Robert Kalsu Legacy Group, whose mission is to preserve and promote the incredible and inspiring story of Del City's Robert Kalsu, a true All-American hero. I would like to encourage folks, obviously that beautiful statue, as soon as you walk in the stadium, the stadium is named after Robert Kalsu. If you don't know the story, there's a YouTube video on there. You can watch a movie. Barry Switzer's in it. Steve Owen's in it. There's a lot of great people in there that talk about him. I mean, what a guy. I mean, really, what a guy, an American hero, truly. And this return going to be brought out by, I think that's Robinson. And Robinson's still running to the 15. He's loose to the 20. 25, he's got the speed to the 35, and that's where he's taken out of bounds. An excellent return by Tavion Robinson. He won Player of the Game earlier this season against Tulsa Memorial. He is a sophomore. And I got to tell you, Gordy, that's a guy that I would imagine is going to start making his way on the field a lot more.
He's a player, and, of course, every time we get to see this guy carry the ball, he shows us the type of talent that he is capable of and what he's able to do on the ball field. Like you say, he was able to kind of sneak in the game and win a Player of the Game, but every time this kid touches the ball, he's able to do something with it. So, really special player, and I'm really looking forward to see what he's able to do in the future as well.
Del City's offense will come back onto the field. I think that's Sincere Overton still out there at quarterback. No, it's not. It's Simmons. So Simmons will check back in at quarterback with 6:08 left. Del City running some guys out there. Too many guys on the field.
Everybody wants to be out there.
Chester in motion from left to right. Ball on the ground picked up by Ricklin Holmes, and Ricklin Holmes with an unbelievable stiff arm. Doesn't even seem fair sometimes. He's still on his feet. 40, 45, cuts back midfield, and brought down at the Tahlequah 45-yard line. Great run. That was a ball that was supposed to go to him, but it was dropped and fumbled. He just picks it up and picks up a huge gain.
He found something. He picked it up, made a lot of, something out of nothing. But that's just, once again, we've seen Ricklin Holmes able to make his way, towards the sideline on numerous runs tonight, just throwing tackles off, making really good breaks. I mean, just staying consistent and just so tough to bring down. It's just really, like I said, been a joy to watch Ricklin Holmes and what he's been able to do tonight.
Oh, another bad snap. Picked up by Simmons, and they're going to mark him down.
That'll be a down on that one.
At the Eagle 49-yard line. I think that was the right call.
Looks like he had that knee right as he picked that ball up, got that knee down.
I got to give credit to the officials tonight. I think they've done a really good job.
For sure.
There was one call. We're sitting next to the Taloqua coaches, and they kicked an onside kick, and they were really unhappy about it. But, I mean, Gordy, I'm sitting right at the 50, and I'm telling you, it was the correct call. And then we saw the replay confirmed it, but boy, it was close.
They've been consistent.
But they talked about it, and they got it right. I mean, that was really their big call, but they've done a good job tonight.
Right.
I feel like they've had a couple plays where Del City wanted to pass interference. I thought they did a good job of not calling it.
Exactly.
And so a lot of credit to these guys. They've done a nice job.
Good job, guys.
Simmons the snap, hands it off to Ricklin Holmes. Ricklin Holmes up the middle, another big gain. He's loose, 35, 30, gets a block, say goodnight to it. Ricklin Holmes into the end zone, touchdown, Del City. Oh, there's a flag.
I was waiting.
Flag is thrown at the 28-yard line. They're going to call a hold.
I seen him getting ready to throw that flag there. I wasn't really sure if he was actually going to reach for it, but once Ricklin kind of broke that plane, he was able to let that go. Looks like we have a holding on one of our receivers.
Well, that's a shame.
It was. It was such a good run.
I'm going to go back and watch the replay here and see if I can see it. I don't know if I agree with that one. I just gave him so much credit, too.
Right.
I don't know.
Just a killer. Just a killer.
You be the judge at home. It's not like it was a big deal. I mean, the game's in hands here, but still.
Yeah, I imagine that probably would have put Rickland Holmes near the 200-yard mark as far as rushing goes today.
Simmons with Black Wolf in the ball game with him now. 2nd down and 12. Another ball on the ground. Simmons able to get on it. He picks it up, runs, and gets back to the line of scrimmage, or at least close to it. Black Wolf went to block somebody, and, ended up knocking 2 Taloqua guys to the ground, blocking one. That was an explosive block by Caleb Blackwolf.
Quarterback really wasn't sure where the read was. Him and the running back were actually running side by side. We have a player down right now.
Yeah, I don't think that was the player Blackwolf blocked. I think it was a different event.
No. He got kind of caught up in the run there.
So, with 3:59 left to go in the game, Del City in firm command of it, 42-14. The Oklahoma City Thunder and Indiana Pacers going to a second overtime.
Oh, my goodness.
124-124. Man, them guys are going to be tired.
Right.
Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, 46 points.
46 points.
A.J. Mitchell, 26 points.
Really?
He is the second leading scorer for the Oklahoma City Thunder behind Andrew Wiggins at 17. Chet Holmgren at 13. He's not had a great night tonight.
Oh, my goodness. Probably having to guard Siakam all night. That's a battle.
Man, what a game. Matherin has 36 points for the Pacers.
Really?
Siakam 30, yeah. Good ball game there.
Man.
I'm getting some text updates from my dad.
Can't wait to see
throughout that game.
Yeah, I can't wait to see. If we ever get home, we'll see.
Yeah. Yeah, that drive home's going to be pretty interesting. Storm's moving right in our face, I think. I'll have to look at the radar here in a minute.
Well, maybe they can take 2 more timeouts, and the fourth quarter might last just a little bit long.
Or they can not take timeouts.
We'd hope not.
One of the two.
No.
First down for Del City at the 35-yard line. Simmons with a man in motion from left to right. Play gets halted. Penalty on Del City. Yeah, it doesn't matter what we do. We're going to be driving into a storm, looking at the radar.
Oh, I bet.
That'll be fun.
Well, Del City's doing all they can right now to just simply get a playoff, but
yeah,
not able to get anything going.
Imagine how much, Del City would be up if they could eliminate penalties, right? That's got to be the one thing that Coach Jones is just like, what can we do to eliminate these penalties? And I don't, penalties it's about discipline a lot of times, but also it's attention to detail. Del City's a disciplined football team, I can promise you. I think it's just attention to detail.
Exactly.
Simmons, great keep. It was a last-second decision. Good run to the 30, and he gets tackled from behind and got the ball to the 29-yard line. Good pickup, gives Del City a more manageable situation.
Right. One thing, Coach, especially when you switch, you kind of rotate a lot of players out. You get a lot of penalties, of course. You have so much depth here on Del City's team. They actually, do a really good job of rotating these players in and out. But when you do that, you kind of establish, a little bit of newer, nuances to the game. That when I said you kind of develop a lot of false starts, a lot of holding, just communication. But like you say, at the end of the day, it's just pure discipline.
2nd and 5 for Del City. Simmons the snap. He's going to throw this one. Throws it up into the end zone. It's overthrown. Looking for Walter Franklin, and it was thrown out of the end zone. Walter didn't really have much of a chance at it. It'll bring up 3rd down for Del City with 2:38 left to go in the ball game. A little surprised Del City decided to go deep there, but at the same time, you want Simmons to get some quality reps.
Definitely.
If Del City's able to get one more first down, they might start to run the clock out.
Trying to get to that 2-minute marker. Like you say, a little surprised that they decided to go ahead and air it out, but it is, the backup quarterback, and you really do want to try to see if you can get something established with this young man and try to see if he can develop some consistency as well. It's a good time to get reps.
Simmons again going to throw. Back to pass again, going deep. Great ball. Deep looking for Hawkins, and it was, really close. Hawkins almost was able to get there.
Almost a perfect throw.
Shows you what kind of arm Simmons has. I mean, that ball, he threw it from the 40 into the back of the end zone, a full 50 yards, and got there in a hurry. So
that's one thing we have seen with him. Every time he has gotten a chance to throw the ball, we definitely have seen that he does have a lot of arm strength. And, the thing is, and that's pretty much why he's in the game right now, trying to get these passes off to try to develop that accuracy and just a little bit more precision on that end.
4th down for Del City. They need to get the ball to the 25. Man in motion from left to right. Simmons again, back to pass, looking, throws over the middle. Not sure who the intended receiver was on that one. There was 2 guys kind of in the same area, Hawkins and Quincy Hill, and it went almost in between them.
Right.
Del City's coaching staff is letting Simmons know about that, so it'll be a turnover on down. Tahlequah's defense fought all the way to the end. Credit to them. They'll get the football back with 2:24 left. Gordy, I got to tell you, this is one of the cool things about doing this job, too, is that we get to see a lot of football stadiums.
Right. That's my favorite part.
In 6 years, I've got to see a lot.
I can imagine.
I mean, obviously we were in 6A2 my first year. Is that right, or were we in 5? I can't remember now. Now I can't remember. I know we were in 6A2 at one point. We played Bixby in the playoffs one year, but, I mean, we've got to really travel around.
Definitely.
I've done some playoff games for NFHS for other schools, some smaller schools. Got to do that. And then, of course, even did a season with UConn, which was not the best, to be honest with you, but it was. I still got to see a lot of different stadiums, which is cool.
Always cool to see, how these different teams operate, especially, not just the football teams or just, whatever team it is, but the atmosphere. You get to see the fan reaction. You get to see the structure of the stadiums, different stuff like that. There's so much character that goes into all of these games, whether it be the band or the student support, or the parent support. It's always cool, to get to visit these schools and just to see what the atmosphere is like.
And I will tell you, the 2 things that stand out about this is I will never forget the walk up the stairs.
Yeah.
To get to the press box. That was brutal. But
my legs were burning.
But the good thing I will tell you, this town is nice. I mean, we drove through it. It's a nice little town.
Lovely, very lovely.
You can tell that it's got like a friendly vibe to it. People were nice. People were smiling at us when we walked in. We went and got dinner here. So it is a cool town. I'll remember it. This is a cool experience for me as I've not been here before.
For sure. I'm looking forward to coming back.
Next time we come back in a couple of years, it could be
we might have a new stadium.
That being said, I kind of hope, and I don't know, maybe the coaches don't agree with this, Del City might get into a different district, and we don't have to make these long travels for road games.
That could happen. It's a possibility.
Never know.
You just never know.
3rd down for Taloqua. About a minute left to go in the game. Good throw. Under pressure, Caden Johnson with a good tackle as well at the 39-yard line.
Just nice pitch and catch once again.
Just about closing time here, Gordy, and since we don't have an interview after the game and we need to try to pack up and get on the road,
right?
As soon as this game's over, we're just going to turn our mics off. We're going to discuss our player of the game, or if you guys want to go ahead and discuss it, make a decision while I finish calling the game. I'm good with that too.
All right.
You want to do that, Gordy?
Yeah, definitely.
Let you and Blake and Jacoby kind of discuss it?
For sure.
41 seconds left to go in the game. It's 2nd down for Tahlequah. They're at their own 45-yard line. Rollout pass, throwing across his body. Most intercepted by Nicholas Holmes. Nicholas wanted it badly, as I think that ball was just thrown away, but it was dangerously thrown away and almost intercepted. 3rd down coming up for the Tigers. Talbert, who's been Tahlequah's best player tonight, without question. He's played really pretty well, actually. Has not thrown any interceptions and has put some big-time throws out there. A couple of them were dropped. Trying to make this game a little bit more respectable are the Tigers, seeing if they can't punch one more in. 35 seconds left to go. They have to go about half the field to do so. Talbert the snap. Back to pass. Plenty of time. Throws over the middle. Caden Johnson in coverage, and he's going to get flagged for pass interference. So that'll give a first down to the Tigers with 30 seconds on the clock exactly. People just now starting to head to the exits here on this Tahlequah side. They've been loyal and true this whole time, been making noise this whole time. Their band's still getting after it over there. That's the other thing I'll remember. Tahlequah's band is good. They did a good job tonight. Gordy, you back with us?
I'm back with you. We're back. Had a little powwow with the fellas. But like I said, I think we've decided who our player of the game will be tonight.
All right.
Pretty sure.
Talbert facing pressure, and he is brought down and sacked. Folks, there were so many Eagles there to make that sack, I don't even know exactly who it was. One of the guys in there was Damu Oko. Timeout called by Taloqua. Since they take timeout, 19 seconds left, this is where we'll go ahead and find out if we can get to one last break really quickly, and we'll come back and have you your player of the game. We'll be right back on the Oklahoma Sports Network.
Download our free apps on Apple and Android devices. Plus, find us on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. Search Oklahoma Sports Network and watch from anywhere.
Have you ever seen an insurance commercial and asked yourself, are they really telling me the truth? Well, guess what? They're not.
Somebody runs a red light, and you think all of a sudden their insurance company's going to be all neighborly about it? Insurance companies aren't in the business of saving you money. They're in the business of keeping your money.
So remember, save our number in your phone so when tragedy strikes,
Call Rob and Will.
Back live with you here on the Oklahoma Sports Network, and we're ready to announce our player of the game with 19 seconds left. The Robert Kalsu Player of the Game is brought to you by the Robert Kalsu Legacy Group, whose mission is to preserve and promote the incredible and inspiring story of Del City's Robert Kalsu, a true All-American hero. Gordy, who do you got?
We're going to go ahead and go with our junior wide receiver / defensive back. Number 9, Caden Johnson, will be our Robert Kalsu Player of the Game. Caden was able to establish, a really good amount of coverage and a lot of tackles tonight on the defensive end, able to make such a force, able to create such tension on the defensive for Del City, and like I said, able to bring home that Robert Kalsu Player of the Game. So congratulations to Caden Johnson.
And Nicholas Holmes just had an interception, takes it out at the 47-yard line, and boy, Nicholas Holmes has had a nice night tonight too in coverage. Sure. And that'll do it, folks. So, ball game over here from Tahlequah. Del City 42, the Tahlequah Tigers 14. That's the final score. Player of the game, Caden Johnson. Congratulations, Caden. And thank you to everybody who's tuned in. Normally, we give you a little longer post game, but tonight we're going to go ahead and wrap her up and get on the road as we got a long trip back to Oklahoma City on a Thursday night. And I know you folks are probably ready to get to bed as well. So thank you, everybody, for watching. Del City again wins tonight, 42-14. I'm Colton Fleetwood. Gordy Jones, my broadcast partner, my cameraman, Cedric Brosi, my producers, Jacoby Brosi and Blake Unruh. We all say thank you, and we'll see you next week for senior night at Robert Kalsu Stadium in Del City. And if you can't make the game, you'll find it right here on the Oklahoma Sports Network. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Celebrating 10 years. We are the Oklahoma Sports Network.